We are here for Chupacabra Games Monday Modern. Hopefully, better audio this time. Uh, for round number one, we have V versus Darren. Darren is on Team of Rhinos, and V is on, I think, what looks like actually Asmo Food. We thought it was going to be green red prowess, but
I don't know if I can edit the prediction.
we will see.
Nope. Cannot edit the prediction.
All right. Well, the names are the same, but the deck lists might vary. But use your channel points wisely.
All right. So, which of these decks would you personally favor? The good deck or the spicy deck?
Well, honestly, I think the matchup for Rhinos is actually kind of hard here. Like game one, Asmo puts in a lot of work killing Rhinos. But I think Darren was on the draw, so it looks even worse, honestly. But sideboard, you get Blood Moon and Force of Vigor, which are both like super impactful in the matchup. So
All right.
I think sideboard games might be easier for Darren, but game one might be a little tricky.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, that Asmo having access to the kill a rhino spell is probably pretty problematic.
Yeah, I mean, you can force of vigor the combo pieces, so or force of negation the combo pieces into exile, so Emery can't get them. So they're probably not going to go too late, but yeah, Rhinos ends the game fairly quickly, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you tweet about the thing?
I did not do that today. I failed.
Yeah, it's okay. You should tweet it
so I can retweet.
Yeah, I would say you should tweet it so I can retweet it and then share it in the Rock and Roll Discord because I haven't done that in like a month.
Oh yes.
Okay, so looks like Darren hit that Shardless Agent to put some rhinos into play. V has managed to make one construct token and looks like tutoring for Urza's Saga to get another cookbook into play. How do you feel about getting a cookbook here instead of maybe getting Shadow Spear to make a 4/4 that could probably trick? Oh, did we not make a construct? I'm confused.
I don't believe so. Oh,
it's on the board. It looks like it's on the board. I'm gonna run out and get a clarification from our players if that's what's going on there, or maybe we'll see V attack with it. I guess if you have Academy Manufactor, that makes sense. You're about to if this construct is in play, it's about to get dummy thick.
Yeah, this is a large lad now. I do agree. I think having something to give lifelink and then eventually trample over the rhinos is good. But we might just be time saving
here. The game might be over.
This is the combo, right?
Yes,
this is all you need.
Yeah. Yep.
Just as
they have more than
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. They can make 6 artifacts a turn.
There's multiple foods in play. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. This is how Darren can lose game one. So if you just get
we have an Academy Manufactor in play, which makes the 3 tokens, and then the double cookbook with an Oval Chase Daredevil just
right.
does the thing every turn, and you just lose the game.
Sure.
And it looks like Darren. Oh, we had to pay. Interesting. It is not the game because we had to pay. I would have sacked the token. You're going to find another way to kill him, unless you have another. I think giving up that cookbook there was a mistake. I would have gotten rid of the token. Oh no, we can just replay it from the graveyard. I'm dumb. It's pretty good.
We have an Emery.
This is now the combo. We do the winning. I think Darren will do the conceding. And yeah. It's pretty fast.
Yeah, this matchup can definitely go really quick for the Asmo side of things. It can also Asmo can be a little dirtilier, which can win game one against just Rhinos with no Force of Vigor. So I do I do think the matchup gets a little bit better sideboard as Darren could bring in a total of 12 cards here.
Yeah. I mean, I know you were playing Team of Rhinos this past week, right?
Yep, yeah, I played
This past weekend at the
RCQ.
yeah. You ended up top 8.
I
am
did.
correct. Yeah, yeah.
I did play against one Asmo deck.
Alrighty. What was the terrible matchup in the top 8 round 1 of the top 8?
The blue white like Thopter Sword combo with ensnaring bridges and spell skites.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna win that matchup with Rhino.
No, that is
That's definitely when I wished I was playing 4-color, but there was a lot of like round 1 I played Infect, which with main deck of
I saw you were 4-1-1 or
4-1-1.
4-1-1.
I lost to Mill because my opponent had the nuts. Again, ensnaring bridge proving to be pretty difficult with counter spell backup. That was definitely the nightmare all that whole tournament was ensnaring bridge. But
Yeah.
top 8 finishes. I think you play Rhinos to top 8, not to win. It's pretty easy to get to top 8, but I think there's definitely some issues you can run into once you get there.
Yeah.
Even Eldrazi-tron can be hard. My opponent mulled a 4.
Turns out main deck Chalice is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, we both. It was deep enough into the tournament where we both knew what we were on. So I just kept a hand with Shardless Agent, Brazen Borrower, and lands, and he just kept a hand with Chalice.
And then you brazen borrowed the Chalice.
And then played Shardless Agent.
Yep.
And the game was over.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really needs to have multiple Chalices in that case.
Well, if you put 2 on 0.
Yep. No, I'm aware.
Yeah.
That was the joke. I mean, maybe he's playing the swamps and he can put Vampire Hexmage into play and then cast a Chalice on 1 and a Chalice on 0 and then Vampire Hexmage the counters off of the Chalice on 1.
I think if an opponent ever did that to me, I would concede on the spot.
I also
what deck I was on.
Yep, I think I would also.
It's like you've made it this
If I, well, all right, yeah, not in round 1. If we were like XO, I'd just be like, yeah, nah, you got it, dog.
Imagine how many opponents just force a vigor that both of the Chalices anyways. Just
I'm not even playing a deck that's weak to Chalice either. Like
Yeah.
I run 3
Oh, yeah.
Chalices in my sideboard.
but they assembled the combo.
Yeah, I mean they got to do the thing. Can't say I forever to load.
All right, so Darren will be on the play for game number 2 here. Hopefully, equipped with some artifact removal, potentially Blood Moons to deal with Saga, and the Esper Asmo deck doesn't have the greatest mana, so Blood Moon can definitely mess things up in the early game for V. And something that Darren could bring in is, I believe he showed me more endurances in his sideboard as well as Leyline of the Void. You probably just want endurance here. Leyline might be a little too egregious, although it is really good at stopping the combo that Darren lost to in game number 1.
So Rhinos doesn't have access to things like Pithing Needle that would shut down the combo like other decks that are playing Magic in a normal way.
Yeah.
So like are the main sideboard cards just like I know they don't run whites, so they're not going to have wear tears.
Nope.
So it's just like Force of Vigor mostly, or
Force premier card you could play. I think Foundation Breaker is something you'll see out of the other 2 Cascade decks.
Okay.
It's not as good in Rhinos just because Force of Vigor, you have expendable green cards with your cascaded spell.
Yes.
Which is
the other 2 also specifically care about the body.
Right. Yeah, they actually care. And then it's kind of a liability here for Rhinos. Like if something like Torpor Orb exists, then you'd rather just have Force.
People bring in Torpor Orb against Rhinos just to shut off Fury?
It could be a Tron
or endurance.
Karn, and Karn might be in play for a little bit.
Okay.
It could better.
Sure. I guess yeah. When you're looking for the thing when you're trying to protect your Karn and Fury is the main answer to it. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you tick down to 3, so
yeah.
There's
right in range.
Yeah.
Tick down to 3 and then only up to 4.
Right.
Looks like we're seeing a Thoughtseize here on turn 1 for V after Darren played a Ketria Triumph. That looks like it's a comic book version, fancy one.
Darren's looking to spike a 3rd land here, as he has 2 Cascaders. Violent Uppers will be taken as I don't think it really matters, but the Cascaders do different things here, whereas the instant speed one is going to be able to play around. Counterspell's better, but um,
Sorry about those technical difficulties, viewers. We had some, I don't even want to explain it.
yeah, but we have returned
Back now.
we are good for that. Won't happen for at least another month. Then we might be we might be in some trouble.
I can win next time.
So Darren did hit a third land here.
Yeah.
We can't hold up force, presumably.
Did we hit a third land? I only see two.
There's
Oh, no,
no
there's one in
card
spell.
He just drew it.
Okay. Yes, it is, and it is his turn. Yeah. So I'm guessing we're just going to see Darren jam some rhinos into play here, which is kind of unfortunate for him. He's already staring down an Asmo that's about to start gunning down creatures.
Yeah, I mean, he might have drawn. I didn't get a good look at his draws, but if he drew another Cascader, I like this play. You just get to overload Asmo here. He doesn't have Fury. Fury would be a great play here.
Didn't even have to go very far into the deck.
No, that's always a plus.
I had a Rhino opponent that one time on their first Cascade went like, I think it was like 40 or 50 cards deep. So they were like, well, this is,
scenario.
They were like, well, these next couple draws are going to really suck.
Well, that's why we play Fletchlands in this format. We get to randomize our library a little bit.
They didn't have any fetch lands, and they immediately drew Rhino.
Yep.
Non-fetch land.
Oh,
but still a land. Rhino.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I still lost.
It turns out 10 power is just good enough sometimes.
It was only 8. They hit it off of
It's good enough.
Yeah. It was on turn 2 because they were on the draw.
Yeah.
And they had the cavern, so I didn't have a Thalia.
Sure.
So because I think I wasn't on Thalia. I think I wasn't playing Death and Taxes. I was playing one of my other spicy things that I do.
Just get caught up by the rhinos.
Yeah. Sometimes 8 power just be good enough. Doesn't die to lightning bolt because I think that was no, I didn't lose.
So we just
lost her.
pass back to Darren here, I think. After making a food.
Yes. Probably waiting to shoot a rhino? Because I mean, there are no split second spells out of the rhino's deck. They're not going to randomly Croson grip you.
I don't believe so.
Which would be really
that's an
funny.
option, though.
I would laugh.
Maybe pre-Force of Vigor.
I don't know if the Asmo deck got bigger. You could just be like, all right, well,
K-Grip.
yeah, Croson grip a food token. And then they're
Yeah.
like, oh no, I can't sack it to Asmo in response.
Right.
They could sack it to KCI if that was the Thank God it's not.
Darren really wishing he had a Force of Vigor here. It gets to hit a Saga and Underworld Cookbook. That's how you win this game, honestly.
Yeah, 2 for 2ing your opponent, or even if you're hard casting it, just anytime you get to wasteland your opponent, it feels good, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, whether that's flashing in a Leonin Arbiter in response to a fetch,
Mhm.
or violating a Leonin Arbiter in response to a fetch, or ephemerating a Leonin Arbiter in response. Mostly things involving Leonin Arbiter in response to fetches, or Ghost Quarter plus Leonin Arbiter, but occasionally also getting to blow up a Saga.
Yep.
Because your opponent didn't see your March of Otherworldly Light coming.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a pretty good card.
I do like March of Otherworldly.
I do miss that card when I play Rhinos. There's some good white cards right now.
It is pretty good against Rhinos.
It's okay. I
mean, it's
like
1 mana removes
like
one of your
1 for
Rhinos.
3s. Like if I shard this,
1 for a thirds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. if you march on my Rhino, it kills it, but like you're still using like one card to deal with a third of my card.
Yeah, but also like, what else is it gonna get pointed at? Like, I'm not
No,
gonna spend 4 mana
still
on
kills
March or
the
2.
Rhino, yeah. It's not a bolt, you know.
I mean, it's 1 mana prevent at least 4, if not more damage.
Yeah, that's better than Healing Self.
Yeah. It is also instant speed.
Yeah. Is Healing Self not instant?
No,
It has to be.
no, healing spell is also instant
Okay.
speed. The whole cycle was.
Yeah.
But my point is that it is effectively just a slightly better healing self.
Oh yeah. Powercraft Healing Self.
Turns out that the answer to what makes healing self playable is increase it by 1
Yeah.
and take away the ability to actually gain life.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's the power creep of normal Magic nowadays. You know, it's just instead of gaining life, we just get rid of the problem. That's White's identity.
Well, no, I'm referring to the occasional Twitter discourse that is how much life would X have to be for the following
Oh.
card? 1 white instant fiend X life.
Yeah.
How high would X have to be for that card to be good?
Pretty high.
Like-
Probably 10.
Like yeah, it's like 10,
That's a lot.
15?
No.
15's too much. I mean, it would
It's just
just. I mean, this card existing at all would just toes burn, right?
Look, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, whether the storm exists, it's arguably better.
Yeah.
I mean, with 4 mana, you can cast, assuming you're playing some kind of storm spellcaster deck, you can have opt or consider, and weather the storm with 4 mana.
Yeah.
And your opponent is probably casting 1, if not 2 spells that turn.
Yeah.
It's a lot of life. So 2 constructs have joined the battlefield alongside a Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear is going to be pretty good at keeping the Rhinos in check, although it is not equipped right now, and the constructs themselves are only 4/4s. We don't see too many artifacts. Force of Vigor was the draw here.
Ooh,
little late to the
do
party.
we have 4
I
mana.
think we go to combat here.
I mean, I think we've already attacked.
Oh, we're already in combat. We drew a card off of what?
Maybe we just forgot to untap our Rhino.
Oh, we're just going to take out both of the constructs. I kind of like attacking. If we're not already inside of combat, I want to hit the Shadow Spear.
Yeah, looks like
Oh,
we
this one's
forgot to.
end step?
No, we played a land.
No, we just forgot to. We forgot to do this. Okay.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
forgot
yeah.
to untap. Okay.
Yep, we just forgot to untap the Rhino.
V is going down to 4 here.
Interesting. I mean, you have the ability to gain life off the food or equip the Shadow Spear to the Asmo. So, wouldn't you rather have just like sent the Rhino over to the opponent's side of the field, and then when they block, blow up the food and or blow up the cookbook and the
Oh,
Shadow
right.
Spear, and then I mean they might make, if the cookbook was untapped, I don't remember. They might make a food and make them 3/3s, but the Rhino still kills kills one of the
Right.
constructs. And if they don't, because they don't want to lose the card in their hand, they just lose it all.
Yeah, I like at least attacking there too, just to see if they block, and then your Force of Vigor gets to kill 3 things effectively.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, even if you don't attack with the 2/2, if it's just the Rhino.
Yeah, the Shardless Agent probably just stays back on blocking duty, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It doesn't favorably.
Although, I mean, I don't know. You're staring down a Shadow Spear. If they put that on the Asmo, you're staring down a 4/4 with trample, which is kind of the same, and lifelink, which is kind of the same thing. I don't know that the preventing 2 damage is really worth it. I think maybe.
Not. There might just be a
I think
better
you hold it
scenario
back to-
attack though.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say. I think in the event they equip the Shadow Spear, you hold it back
Yeah.
to be able to send in with the thing, the agent.
Right. I thought I saw a dead gone in hand for Darren. That might have been.
It might have been used already. Because I definitely did see one at one point.
Suspending Rhinos really late here.
Might have gotten used while we were talking about other stuff.
Yeah, Force Negation really being an awkward card right now. You kind of want it just to hit some of the combo pieces, but it is kind of a dead card in the matchup. I find myself trimming I think 2 of them on the draw or
Yeah.
on the play.
I mean, at this point, you really just want that to be almost every other card in your deck, right?
It depends what he took out. I'm not 100% sure of his main deck.
Well, I'm talking about like right now.
Right,
What,
yeah,
what you were hoping for. Yeah, now we're seeing the players pretty much change. Well, I guess not quite trade life totals. They were not. Darren was not very low. V is going back up to two hits from one Rhino or one total Rhino hit.
Yeah, and the Rhinos are nowhere to be seen right now. It's like Endurance was the pickup for turn.
I don't think Darren's long for this world.
Probably not. I mean, he survives one more turn. He does get to Endurance his opponent.
Yep, Endurance and block the.
Well,
You can blank the.
now.
Yeah, you can.
You can blank Emery.
Blank.
Just do it now. I think you're just Endurance now. Or now you definitely do.
Yeah, now with the trigger on the stack. Well, V could discard the other card.
Oh, there's another cookbook in play. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could. You might as well though. Might as well.
I mean, you definitely.
Do
don't get me wrong. You definitely go for it. I 100% think you go for it. Trying to clip the oval chase. I wouldn't just tapping. What? They should have tapped the cook.
They will untap it though.
There we go. Yeah. I was just like, tapped a token there. I'm confused.
Yeah. A lot of game objects in play right now.
Yes. I mean, not for much longer.
Probably not. I think the 4/4 Asmo is gonna do it. Ironically enough, the 4/4 being good enough against the deck that makes 2 4/4s.
Yeah, not being able to get more than one set of those 4/4s in play has not worked out, and then not having. I like I said also. I think that little goof we had, for the missequencing, really, I guess, on the Force of Vigor,
right?
I think was
like that could have played out that way, but Darren might as well have tried to make it play out a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, it may still have been that V just went for the.
It just doesn't block.
Yeah, it just doesn't block.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's pretty likely, and
it's pretty likely. I mean, your opponent hasn't Force of Vigored you yet, so it would have to be the top card.
Yes,
and I think it's pretty reasonable to make that block there.
Yeah, and there we see the game. Yeah, I mean,
Asmo Food's gonna take round number 1 here.
We're gonna take a quick break, real quick, while we're gonna see if we can get another game up here on our stream for you guys. Be right back. Everybody dropped off. Oh.
All right, so
Oh, I think we
Will
lost this whole time.
manages to resolve Azusa against the Affinity deck and proceeds to
Have we been off this whole time? Oh, okay. I thought you left me. Oh, okay.
proceeds to make a ton of mana with his bounce land and plays a Dryad of the Elysian Grove, getting an additional land drop. So 4
Neat.
land drops this turn.
Yeah, that's Titan mana. If
Yep.
we're able to Titan.
Now I think, or if Will doesn't have Titan, I think he probably gets Beseju. Unless he
Wait,
needs
that's-
a land to go off. Oh, there's a Valakut. That makes sense. Just
I'm
try to kill.
confused. How did we get the?
So there was a
Did we play the Azusa?
Selesnya
first?
Sanctuary.
Oh, we played
Yes.
the Azusa first.
So we went Selesnya Sanctuary, and then we played it. Had the amulet trigger, and then we bounced the Selesnya Sanctuary, and then we played the Azusa.
Gotcha. And then the Azusa got us the thing. So that's next turn will be definitely Titan.
Yeah.
Next turn, that's like double Titan if we can find another amulet.
Yep.
And given that you grabbed the Valakut Molten Pinnacle, I would be very surprised if we didn't see Will coming in hot for a hell of a lot of damage.
Oh yeah.
Evan here.
So unless Evan plays main deck Metallic Rebuke, I'm not quite sure.
I mean, he just put a lot of power into play, so he might be okay. Yeah, there's a spell bomb. That's pretty wild.
This is what I was talking about. Like, it is literally all affinity cards. Like,
Okay.
this deck would get absolutely destroyed by Kataki.
Too bad I don't have any Katakis in my sideboard, huh? Also, I'm not playing. definitely looking at maybe putting some Katakis in the sideboard for the energy. Don't you worry. I don't expect to see this, but I do expect to see Hammer, and taxing
Yeah.
Hammer at least a little bit is kind of important.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I think it's a good call.
not as good as it used to be back in the good old Astrolabe days, where I would I was main decking Katakis to screw with people's mana. Like, man, it's real great you put that Astrolabe into play for me, so now I can Rishidan port you every turn. And then they would just be like, get to 3 mana, pay for the thing, run in 6, ping the Kataki, and now I don't care anymore. All right. Who said you could
That
play good
was
cards?
Always fun. All right, so Will played a Selesnya Sanctuary.
Yeah. Floating some, looks like quite a bit of mana, 6 in fact.
Yep.
And there's that big Titany boy. We also used one of our land drops to get a Valakut into play.
Yep.
Have a red mana floating, it looks like, as well. Probably not planning on doing a whole lot with that. Maybe get a white mana from some other source and use some trickery to give this Titan some haste.
Yeah.
Because notably, right now, Will does not have the mana because he's missing an amulet. He does not have the ability to give the Titan double strike. So Evan's like 10 power of untapped creatures over there are going to be able to block and trade with this Titan.
Yep.
So, it looks like actually that is not what we had happen. That
Looks
is
like it's Crumbling Vestige.
Yeah, Crumbling Vestige bounce land. So Will's going to make a mana off the Crumbling Vestige, which will take him up to 2, and then he'll be able to play tap the Crumbling Vestige and the thing for mana, so that's 5. So right now, he's 1 short of a second Titan. But I don't, unless you Azusa, I don't think you're getting another Titan this turn. And 5 is not a breakpoint. 6 and 7 are the breakpoints that the Titan wants for Titan, obviously. And what's the other card? Colossus, Cultivator. Colossus. Yeah. Oh, it looks like Will still has a land play remaining. The Valakut must have been played last turn. I must have missed that.
Yeah, the Valakut
Okay.
was
played last turn. Okay, I just missed that. So yeah, Will removing his last land play indicator, which will get him up to 7 mana. I don't know if we're gonna see.
Oh, we're using it all.
Yep.
This,
Using it all. Looks like this might be a Cultivator Colossus. Oh no, just another Titan. Which means Will should have a mana floating based on the numbers I ran there. Oh no, I was assuming that one die up there was for a mana from the Valakut. This is exactly enough for a Titan. And then getting I like that. Getting Beseju and untapping a Simic Growth Chamber so you can float a blue and blow up a thing if it. I don't know what
if it's relevant.
Yeah, if it's relevant. I don't know what thing we'd be blowing up, but I mean, I would assume our opponent probably doesn't have too many basic lands in their deck. Did you see any basic lands?
I saw a few. I think there was at least 1 or 2 basic islands.
Okay, so he will
there are basics.
He will still ramp, and because of the double Titan opting to not bounce with the spell bomb, I think that's the correct play probably. Because Titan just gets to replay. The other option is like holding it to save from double strike, but like I don't even think Will cares about that right now. You're just gonna attack with 2 Titans and Valakut your opponent to death.
Yeah. Yep. That's
and there's
how that matchup goes.
Yeah.
At least game 1.
Yeah. I mean, might see some Torpor Orbs. That'll definitely slow down a Titan or 2.
I'm not exactly sure what they have in their sideboard here, but see if we can. There's some Damping Spheres.
Okay.
See?
Yeah. I mean, Damping Sphere's pretty good against Titan.
Just looking at Cage. I don't think you want Cage.
I would agree you don't want Cage. I don't think Cage does anything against Titan.
I think they pulled Cage out to the side, so we'll see.
Maybe there's some card that's otherwise harmful in the matchup. Maybe that they've decided is not. I don't know what would be though.
I don't know. We'll see. I do know that Evan is relatively new to Modern, and
okay.
I mean, he destroyed me round 1, so Take that for what you will.
Yeah, but like that could just be your deck is bad. I mean,
Well,
you-
Breaker, you always think my deck is bad.
I always do
so-
think your deck is bad. I have such great. Actually, no, I think your deck is great. I have such a good matchup. I don't understand why you keep putting these 1-mana 0/0s in your deck, but you know, if you want to put 1-mana 0/0s in your deck, Eric, please be my guest. You were on Shadow tonight, I assume.
No.
Oh, okay.
I was playing Rhinos.
Okay.
Did
No,
it.
see, that deck's actually good. I have such a big problem with that
Yeah,
deck.
but
Now, if you're
not-
playing the other Cascade decks, my deck just destroys those. For some reason, Rhinos just can't get it.
it wasn't very great when Evan had a 13/13 Urza Saga construct token with a Shadow Spear on it.
Yeah, I mean, anything bigger than a 4/4, your deck just can't answer, huh?
Which is, yeah.
Or not very well.
Yeah.
A couple Brazen Borrowers and a couple Dead
He
Gone.
did have some cranial platings in his deck too, which is, a little blast from the past.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're playing Infinity, you might as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? That's probably why we see the That's probably why we have the I don't know the black one.
Demir, yeah. The Demir Architecture.
Something bridge, I think.
Oh,
Dark
that's the
Slick?
green one. Or the green black one.
See, this is why I normally pull up Scryfall at the start of the streams. That way I can just look up cards whenever I want. Type is land. Type is artifact. And then ID equals blue black. Mist Vault Bridge. There we go.
Yeah,
All right.
I definitely saw a few.
All right. That's probably why we have the Mist Vault
Yep.
bridges. So we get access to the black for
They also have
speed equipped
treasure vaults in their deck, so they can make treasure tokens.
treasures and the Springleaf drums as well.
Yep,
So
yep.
plenty of ways to make black mana, but I think the indestructible not having to throw away a land is
Yeah.
probably the superior option
These
when possible.
these lands longer the days of it's a Spire of Industry and Glimmer Void.
I don't know. I think if you specifically want untapped mana, Spire of Industry and Glimmer Void still might be where you want to be at.
Yeah.
But you're still going to run a couple of these just because having these in play does mean that your Glimmer Voids almost never go away. Or just like Darksteel Citadel. But
Yep.
if you specifically care about the coloring source.
All right, Watsy, give us some Seat of the Synods. Will be this deck will be good to go.
Did I not just say that we should unban the artifact lands?
the more I
and
think
then
about it,
you
the
were
more I
saying
like it.
we could build real
Yeah.
8-cast in modern, just like just have people be like, well, okay, so you wouldn't get to do the Lotus Petal thing with Emery where you get to be like, I have 2 artifacts and only one of them makes mana and it's a Lotus Petal, but I can still cast Emery for 1.
I mean, you could still turn one Urza Saga with, Ornithopter or Springleaf Drum.
Oh yes, I mean Hammer does that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that it doesn't do some of the same.
Yeah, oh
things.
yeah. No Kappa Cannon.
You just don't get to do the 2 man. Yeah, thank God. You just don't get to do the 2 man. You just don't get to do the 2 artifacts. Only one of the. You don't get to do the 2 artifacts Lotus Petal Emery thing.
Yeah, no,
Which I think is funny.
no fast man in the format, so you don't get to turn one shell to the board.
Was that a 4 of cranial plating?
Oh,
you
yeah.
just showed it?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a Henju mulligan, right?
I really think Evan's just mulliganing to anything with a hay card here.
Or anything with speed.
Yeah, you either need something extremely fast, faster than Titan, or
A deck that can kill you on turn 2.
yeah, which that's why I
Like the deck can 20 you on turn 2.
yeah, oh yeah, yep.
Have you ever been victim to their turn 220?
I have
Okay. I don't think I've ever gotten turn 2 goldfished. I've definitely been turn 3 goldfished several
I
times.
think once on the draw when I didn't have a discard spell.
Yeah. My deck frequently has Ghost Quarter in it, so
Yeah. You're
Or I'm playing.
You have a
Path-
little bit of miscarriage against
Path to Exile. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't play very many white cards, Brinker, at least not in modern. So
Yeah, that's. I mean, you
Often
play
I'm
like
just
you play like
dressed down in
7.
time.
You play like what 7 of them in Legacy?
all of them are removal spells.
Oh, sorry, 8 because there's also one Teferi, right?
Yes.
Oh no,
Not in the
10.
curtains.
Oh, I was gonna say 10 because there's some number of monastery mentor too.
I like Supreme Verdicts.
Okay. No,
All right,
no
so we
mentors?
get
Hey, there's that damping sphere. That's going to be a big problem for Titan.
yeah. This is
Uh,
exactly what Evan needed to see.
I have definitely put that card into play against a Titan player before and had them just not. Oh,
Yep.
wow.
And
Hey, but that's
I think
gonna
we
happen.
Punished here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Damping Sphere doesn't count your spells, only your opponent's.
Yep.
Force of Vigor did make that card worse.
Yep.
I am willing to admit.
Same with Beseju.
Yep, Beseju did make it even worse.
Yeah.
I think the Force of Vigor is the real kicker there,
Oh,
because you just spent your, I mean, you're back on turn one. Like
nice
in this
two for
particular
two.
situation. Yes.
Being,
Dude, no, that's like a 2 for like 7.
Yeah, especially hitting a land. All right, so we see
Yeah, you've taken your
Explore here.
mana and the 2 constructs. Like that's like a 2 for 7.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a sagas,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. That's why it's a 2 for 7. Another Explorer. Cycle, play some more bad time walks.
It seems like a lighter bounce land hand. I think Will probably kept this hand based on these amulets and Force of Vigor.
I mean, I think that's a pretty solid decision.
Oh yeah.
I would definitely expect my opponent to be mulliganing to some form of hate in such a potentially polarizing matchup. He has to pay a mana for that Frogmite. I will run out there and confirm this for them.
Yeah, so we're gonna get this match checked really quick with our table spotter.
They did get it. They had already got
All right.
it by the time I got
And we're
Everything's all
good there.
it. I already started on my way out there. Pretty sure Will was going to catch it, but
You never know.
and then immediately forgot about the opponent. After explaining to his opponent how Damping Sphere worked, immediately forgot about how Damping Sphere worked. All right. Now he can play that Frogmite. There we go. Could have played the Frogmite last turn, but then you wouldn't have gotten the Cranial Plating.
Yeah.
Or this turn, first, I mean, not last turn, first, and then wouldn't have gotten the Cranial Plating. So, I think this is definitely, at least right now, shaping out to be the sort of hand that, especially with double hate piece, where Affinity could possibly just run Titan over.
Yeah.
If it gets some time. We've got the Springleaf Drum. I mean, we only have 2 mana sources, but like, we're okay with that. Yeah. And then Evan pointing out the other text on Evan pointing out the other text to Will on that the Damping Sphere and why it's so good against Titan. It's only colorless mana there off that bounce land.
Yep. Will needs to see another Force of Vigor and or Beseju here. Expedition map.
He-
Those are 2.
I mean, he does have double green source, so he does have, that is 3 mana. And then he gets to play a Dryad, And then if he ever finds a Titan, he has more than enough land drops to, with his,
Yeah.
he does have 3 green mana, so more than enough land drops to get there on the,
Yeah, but once this cranial plating starts to get going, it could be a little scary for Will.
yeah, that's +6 right now? +6 power? On the probably
Yep.
on the Ornithopter?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good old 4-turn clock there.
How were we animating this layer? I guess we had a mana floating I missed.
The
It made 4 mana. Or
The
made
Selesnya
3,
Sanctuary.
made 3 mana, all of which would have
3,
gone into the Dryad.
3 to the Dryad.
I think we just missed that, and oh well. I'm not going to run out there and correct that. It's 1 point. If I guess I probably should. Whatever. I'll just let them be it. Incorrect life totals. It's regular. I don't feel like running out there to fix 1 life point. All right, making 3 mana. Picking up the bounce land. Oh, right, because of the Dryad, see, we can still tap the land for any color.
Okay, so that's where we got the.
So we're getting blue here to transmute, because we're able to
Gotcha.
make 3 blue. Although if we packed, we need another bounce land, and even then we're a mana short. Oh no, we have still 2 more lands because of the Dryads. This is dangerous if we don't have another bounce land. Looks like we do.
Yep,
Yeah.
there's the Gruul Turf.
Yep, makes 6 mana. Yep, explaining what he's going to do, shortcutting it, paying the additional 1 to make it uncounterable just in case. Oh, and we put it, I just noticed we put the cranial plating on the Frogmite, so it's an 8/2. And there's all right. That was another quick one. Will has the ability to make that Titan a 12/6 because of the triple Slayer Stronghold activations, and then gets to on his attack put Boros Garrison into play and definitely have enough mana to give it double strike. And only 1 touch is necessary there to block, and Evan only looked like had 4 powers or 12 toughness, 4 toughness there. I mean, sorry. So not going to be able to block 24 double striking trample.
It seems like a very difficult matchup for Affinity. I think,
yeah,
given that most of its hate is permanent based, and Titan has so many good answers to artifacts.
Yeah, you just gotta. I think Titan just has to
Stumble a
draw,
bit.
stumble more, and you have to have a hand that goes real fast, which is not what we saw out of Evan there. I'm gonna run out onto the floor and see if I can locate us maybe another match.
All right.
So we're not don't have another 30 minutes of dead air like last.
Oh yeah. All right. It looks like Robert was able to find us a backup match here. The players are moving over to the feature match table now. Not mistaken, I believe Bobby on the right is playing Tameshi Bloom. And last I saw on the left.
So on the left side of the screen, I don't know his name. Whoever Bobby's playing is playing Esper Reanimator, I believe.
Okay.
Although Bobby indicated it called it Esper Control. So I guess they didn't see enough of each other's decks like I thought they would have. Not surprising. And Bobby is, like I said, on Tameshi Bloom.
Yep.
Which I felt fine saying because I'm guessing the Tameshi Bloom player won.
I did indeed tell the viewers that Bobby was on Tameshi Bloom.
All right, cool. I don't know the other player's name. I assume
See if our table spotter will.
Yeah, it looks like our table manager is gonna get us that information. Did I really choose outbound? Did I put all of my money on? Did I even bet? I don't think I bet. It's like,
all right. So Aaron on the left.
Oh, there you go. And then right now, I believe Bobby is up a game.
Up 1 game. So this is the start of game 2 here.
Yeah.
Right, so it looks like Aaron plays a Watery Grave tapped and passes. Bobby draws return and plays a Stomping Ground tapped. Here's a Hallowed Fountain, shocking, playing a Priest of Fellright. So it looks like Aaron is on the reanimate.
Yep. Yeah, I saw him reanimating Archons earlier at the end of a previous match, near the end of a previous match against one of our other players. So I knew that I knew that he happened to be on Reanimator, so I didn't actually need to ask either player what they were on. I just wanted to hear them confirm it to make sure.
All right, we'll see a Flooded Strand from Bobby and then a Suspend of Lotus.
Yeah. Working up to that Tameshi that we can see just barely over there in his hand. And there's an unmarked grave from Aaron. Looks like we're probably gonna immediately see the that Archon just come hammering into play.
Yep.
And Bobby has selected his card. Looks like to discard there. Just got it. But he's feeling kind of silly about suspending that Lotus Bloom now. Could have just pitched it to this
Yeah.
to this Archon.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty heads up play by Bobby, I think.
But he, like I said, he thought his opponent was on Esper control, so
Yeah.
probably wasn't expecting Reanimator pieces to come out here.
Yeah, that's interesting. It must have been a pretty quick game one.
I mean,
and you probably didn't see a lot of the
Tameshi
reanimated cards
Tameshi can kill you on 3, I think.
on turn 3, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, if they suspend Bloom on 1 into because Bloom comes off on turn 3.
Yeah,
I believe, right? Am I right about that?
Suspend 3.
Oh, so it comes off on turn 4. So they can kill you on turn 4.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna see another suspended Lotus Bloom and a Teferi.
Yeah, it's
bouncing the Archon.
Wow.
And a third suspended Lotus Bloom.
Wow. I mean, yeah, okay.
All right, so if Bobby can, stick around for a few turns, I think with this Teferi, can really good given that the Archon was bounced to hand.
Yeah, and our opponent played a land and passed. I mean, we have a Tameshi in hand, so what are you looking up?
What's the unearth?
Oh, 5.
It's 5, yeah.
5.
Okay, so 5 on the Presupposed.
He'd also have to find a way to 3 white black.
Yeah.
He'd also need to find a way to get another card in the graveyard.
Yeah, if we can see a Faithful Mending or Tainted Indulgence here, we could get some action going.
Get that Archon back in the yard.
Well, we have a Teferi out, so we'll not be seeing those cards.
Not at the end step. Yeah. Too bad none of the
good old Teferi.
None of the channel lands let you like discard a card.
Yeah, you could technically Takenuma here.
Yeah, you could
Mill and Archon.
No, we put some lands into play tapped. We don't have the man for it. Takenuma costs.
Oh, not anymore.
I do love me some Takenuma, but
I mean, if
I do think it is
if we got on tap lands, we could.
I do believe Takenuma is the most underrated of the 5.
I think it's the sweetest one. Not gonna lie.
It's definitely
Seiju is obviously
the most powerful.
And Ottawa is really good.
Yes, but Seiju and Ottawa are hands down the 2 most powerful. I think Takenuma is the most underrated and also the most secretly powerful. And the coolest. Like the decks that can really use Takenuma can really use Takenuma.
Oh yeah. All right, so we see a hard cast Grief here, and we got a Wargate, Tameshi, and
Otawara. Yeah.
All right, so a well-timed Grief there for Aaron.
Yeah, the turn before that Lotus Bloom is going to come off.
Unfortunately for Aaron, the Wargate is just a little bit more expensive version of Tameshi.
Yeah, and we're gonna be able to have the 1 white up to get the whole combo started if we want. It just means I mean, on the bright side, if I'm Aaron, I am excited to see that my opponent doesn't have any way to keep going.
Yeah.
So it's like the top of the deck and then the draw from Tameshi, assuming we Wargated Tameshi into play.
Yeah.
And if we pick up a bunch of lands to do that, we're gonna lose we lose lands.
Yep. So here's the Wargate.
Yep.
For 3.
I would expect to see just if we don't unless we hit one of the Colossi on Bobby's side, I would expect to see I would expect to just see the 1 go to reset the thing and start over.
We know one of the cards in Bobby's hand. We have 1 mystery card here. Let's take a look at.
I think I would just I mean, I don't think I want to play that Otawara right now. I just want to get a thing back, pick up a land, draw a card. Ooh, looks like we drew a fetch land. I like that. Let's us we can crack this Lotus Bloom in the end step to cycle that land and maybe draw something else, or maybe right now even.
Yeah.
Because we can always we can cycle and shuffle. Although it does take a land out of our hand for when we're doing our going off and doing our combo. But you know,
Bobby gets the basic planes here.
yeah. Looks like the kangaroo planes. That looks like that might be the kangaroo.
Yeah,
planes.
I think so.
Pretty spicy basic land selection coming out of Bobby here.
Loving
Yep.
some spicy basic lands. So there's the play, like you said, main
Yeah.
phase.
Trying to get that
Cycling the
redraw. And
trial.
then, yep. Putting that Lotus Bloom back into play. I think. So if I remember correctly from what I have heard, the deck becomes deterministic if it has two Colossi.
Yeah.
If the first one gets 3 additional lands, the second one should be deterministic. I think most of the time. I don't know how it exactly breaks down, but
All right, so we see a Path to Exile here on Tameshi.
yeah. I mean, Odawara, the brief in response. Interesting. Why would we not just Odawara our own Tameshi? Odawara can target anything.
Well, that's exactly what Bobby did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Looks like he was about to do that and then realized, oh, wait, in response, I'm going to Odawara my own thing. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah. Unlike Boseiju, Odawara is not restricted in its targeting, which is pretty great.
Bobby will lose the Teferi here. So if Aaron has some way to interact on Bobby's turn,
Yeah.
maybe we could see
Instant speed interaction opened up here from the reanimator player. Cast 1, cast 2. Bobby has all the mana in the world. Could not quite hard cast a what's it called? Finale of Devastation for 10.
Finale. Yeah. A little bit more mana for that.
Would be lethal.
Yeah.
Would be lethal if we could get that finale online for 10. We would just need one more Lotus Bloom.
Oh yeah.
In fact, with the number of lands Bobby has access to this turn of 4, as soon as he makes his land drop, we can very easily get 15 mana here. Because we crack one of these Lotus Blooms to play Tameshi, play a land, and then pick up 4 lands. Oh, and actually each of the lands also makes mana. Not just the Lotus Blooms that come off of them. So we actually have 19 mana available to us this turn to try to do as many things as we can. And, maybe just put a really thick Colossus into play off of a Finale of Devastation.
It looks like Aaron has, I believe, 3 cards in hand, and I saw one of them as a Sarah's Emissary, so that's not going to help him much here.
Sarah's the 7 draw. For some reason you said Sarah's. I just got completely distracted and was like, Sarah Ascendant? Why does he have a Sarah Ascendant? That's so bad. He's not playing Martyr Proc. We do have a Martyr Proc player. I don't know if you've been here on the couple weeks Colin's been here.
I have. I have
He's been
indeed lost to
He's been on camera every week he's been here.
that proclamation card.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well you managed to make it through the Abiding Grace one time because he got back in a Thraben Inspector instead of the Kami of False Hope.
Well, we take those.
Gave himself False Hope there.
And so we see an Omnath. Is that an Omnath?
Maybe I think the deck does play Omnaths maybe in like the sideboard or something.
You got Wargate. You got
Yeah, I mean
Finale.
4 colors of mana,
Seems reasonable against like Burn.
or just like any control deck.
Yeah,
Also, Omnath is pretty good
games.
against control from what I've heard. I don't know. I don't play control anymore.
Omnath is just pretty good against everything. Seems
Yeah.
There's-
That's a good old Gusher hands right there.
there's the
The
Omnath.
jelly bean, as some people are like to say. Hello, Nico.
The menace. Oh, what's up, Nico?
Yeah, you aren't here to. So he's on the buy right now.
Yeah, because I got absolutely ravaged round 1, so that was good.
Yeah.
Right.
Looks like we're starting to do the combo. Trying to maybe we don't have extra land drops, so we're just putting all these into play, doing some things and stuff.
Did we
We
find
have like, do we have like
the
10, we have like
Colossus?
10 cards in hand?
Yes. I
I would have to assume you have. What are we doing? Oh, these are mana indicators. I do not like putting those in the same color sleeves as my deck.
I would
That is not what you should be doing,
no.
because you could definitely get called on those being sideboard cards.
All right, we have an El Adamri's call, so we'll be fortunate enough to search our deck and find that Cultivator Colossus. And looks like
Opponent just decided to concede. I think I know about 5 lands in my opponent's hand. There's probably 1 or 2 more odds on he's gonna find another cultivator, probably, or some way to find a cultivator.
yeah.
I think I'm cool with just saying I'm dead.
I
do believe that'll end that match. I don't know if 17 minutes is enough time to find another match, especially when two of our matches that we're running out there.
looks like our
opted to-
4 color control players are done playing, so
Oh, yeah, actually, we might. Yeah, it looks like that was actually our last match that was going on. So give us just a couple minutes. We're going to take a break. And you won't hear Eric back here because he's not going to be on the bye again. But you'll still have me back here. Maybe James will come back in the booth, or I'll snag whoever else is on the bye. And we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with some more commentary.
adios.
All right. So unfortunately, I'm going to be, or maybe fortunately, I don't know, depends on your opinion of things. I'm going to be alone on commentary for this round. So looks like we've got Will Kowalczyk and NRG champion Will Kowalczyk on his champion winning on his NRG winning deck, Amulet Titan, here against Drew Coy. Not cool. Last week I thought his name was cool. It is in fact Coy. I have been corrected. Just like the one time I saw his name on Twitter, the I looked like an L. So I thought it was cool, but it's Coy, which is still kind of cool, but not in the same way. And he's going to be on Burn. All right, so I'm going to get the predictions pulled up here. Don't even have to change Will. This is great. Drew is on the Burn. I tried to persuade him to not be on Burn, but he just wants to throw lightning bolts at people's face. Although I suppose of every other deck here, is the most magic as Richard Garfield intended. Who do I think will win this? You know what? I'm gonna 8 3. Actually, we can go 0 because we're gonna bet. We're gonna bet. We're gonna feed. Still want to protect. Close, and then I want to burn some points on this Pokemon. No. All right. So Will, you hate to see it out of the Titan as the Titan player. The Boros Garrison. And for anybody watching who can barely see how Drew is shuffling there, yes, we are aware he shuffles terribly. That's why he doesn't go to real events. He suspends a Rift Bolt, it looks like right there. The boy claims to have small hands and therefore not be able to shuffle. But I don't know. I think he could still manage it. Will getting a Dryad out here and playing a Valakut as his second land drop for turn. Valakut not triggering at all, but 2 more lands, and Drew will 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 definitely get there. On firing some lightning bolts back at Drew's face. And I cannot tell what that is. It looks like these might be double lava spikes. Yeah, dual lava spikes coming out of the Burn player. Will already down to 11. Burn doing the thing it want to do. Getting its opponent dead real quick. If this goes the way it's looking, I would guess, probably, that we are going to see a pretty swift end to this match, at least based on how it's gone so far. Will having to explore here, not having an amulet, definitely an issue, and we haven't seen Radiant Fountain. I know Will is fond of that card. I believe he has one in the main and one in the side, although that could be an old list. I could be wrong about that. There's a Bajuka Bog. Definitely not the land you want to see as the amulet player. All right, a bounce land, which we... Oh, right, we have Explore from this turn. That's right. I mean, we've got the 6 mana. If we find a Titan, we have 7 mana. We could even find the other guy, Cultivator Colossus. All right. That's a card Will can very easily play around. Not so much when we're having to pact for our Titans, though. I mean, I assume that's what we're getting here. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Titan. I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw Vesuva Valakut here put which will be 3 Valakuts triggering twice each, so that's 12 damage. Put one of it at the. Oh, looks like maybe we'd miscounted on life totals there, but Drew just immediately giving up the ghost, or maybe deciding that losing the Dryad and taking 11 or 9. Maybe I miscounted that. 3 Valakuts, each triggering twice. It's only 6 triggers. Oh, that's 18. Right. I'm so good at math. Yeah, 3 Valakuts, each triggering twice is 18. That is, your board is clear and you are dead. So, yeah, I mean, Burn doesn't really have much counterplay against Titan. If they aren't quite able to race him, Titan will just burn him out with Valakut, or punch him to death with the eponymous Titan or the occasional Cultivator Colossus. So these two players were originally both going to be on Burn at the start of the night, but Will opting to switch to Amulet Titan in the event he ended up on camera like this, as it does make for at least slightly more interesting commentary over Burn. The Burn mirror definitely would have been honestly a bit of a bore to watch. It's kind of just who draws better. There's when creatures get involved, there is a little bit more math that needs to go on, but on the whole, not a huge amount of extra thought that needs to go on when you're if you're in the burn mirror. It's mostly just who gets to point more burn spells upstairs up until you get the creatures involved. And Eidolons can definitely make stuff all screwy, but not that bad. No. Punch him in the back of the head. Don't. So as far as sideboard cards out of Titan, I think it's mostly just if Will has any number of copies of Radiant Fountain. Wait, I thought Paladin's still here. It's mostly just copies of Radiant Fountain, I think. You might expect your opponent to have Blood Moon also, or Magus of the Moon as possible sideboard cards. I think you're definitely hoping to see Blood Moon since you have Beseju and Force of Vigor in the sideboard. Although Burn's probably going to have Magus of the Moon since it can actually attack for lethal, which I think is something Burn will prioritize more over the not dying to board clears. Given that Burn's hasty creatures are generally pretty resilient to board clears anyway. Another thing that we might see coming out of the Burn deck, although not ultra likely, is Drew may decide to bring in or keep in, if they were in the main deck, Roiling Vortexes. They're not going to be huge in the matchup, but if your opponent has to pact at any point, an extra 5 damage out of nowhere is definitely gonna get you a lot closer. And if you get 2 of them in play, it pretty much makes pact unplayable. Because unless they're as long as you have mana up, it makes pact unplayable. Because excuse me, unless they're immediately winning the game off of it, that pact is taking 10 to search up a Titan is generally not gonna end well. Giving up half your life total for that is not the most useful. Whirling Vortexes could also come in to fight against Radiant Fountains, although I don't know if Drew is aware of the prevalence of Radiant Fountain in the Titan deck. Although I don't know, if he knows of its existence, it is a land. It does gain life. The deck that tutors lands is probably going to play the land that gains life for the burn matchup. So. All right. Players continuing to resolve mulligans. This is probably the most riveting gameplay that you'll see against a burn deck. I believe Will is going to 5 here, maybe? I was looking away for a minute there, so I may have missed some mulligans. Yep, it looks like 5 is correct. Looks like Drew might have, or maybe it's 4? Is it 4? We'll have to go to 4? Wow. Drew looks like is on 6, maybe? Yeah, I think that's 6. Drew just suspends Lava Spike. Or not Lava Spike, Rift Bolt, sorry, and passes the turn, and Will leads on his card that did the killing last game, Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. Will hanging an Explore out there, drawing that extra card. Getting a second. Wow, this hand is rough. Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. Jeez. 2 Valakuts in play. At least we didn't have to. I mean, at least for the Titan player, we didn't have to worry too much. I think we have the game score wrong down there at the bottom of the thing. Float. It looks like Will's. Wow, Drew did not have many things to do. And Will's floating a mana. Play a Dryad and get that Valakut back into play. And now, next turn, we need any land in our deck. Any mana producing land. Any non-bounce land. And we'll be able to get a Titan into play. Drew pump fakes a 3-drop there. And passes the turn. And there it looks like is the Slayer's Sanctuary. Oh, Drew just getting hit for 4 by Will here. Will pumping the using the Slayer's Sanctuary to pump the Dryad of the Elysian Glow. And then looks like Will just flooped a bounce land to play off his Arboreal Grazer. Drew is conceding the game, I think. Showing Will that he just can't do anything. Can't quite get there. So it looks like this is going to be a 2-0 Titans favor, which is pretty great. 35 minutes left in the round. I'm going to see about getting you guys another match going on here. Hopefully, we'll be more successful this time than our last round, or than round 1, and we won't have 20 plus minutes of dead air. Hopefully, we'll only have a couple minutes, so be right back. apologize for the 10-minute wait there. We're gonna have was just waiting for a match to round out. Let's get close up the last prediction. I lost my points. I'm sad. Boom. It is Aiden on Grixis. This match that we're going to watch the conclusion of here is Aiden on Grixis Death Shadow against Eric on, I believe he said he was on Team Rhinos earlier. So,
Yep, some roles reversed here. Some roles reversed here, as we see Eric often on Grixis Death Shadow, but he's
yeah.
switching around to the Rhinos.
Yeah, and this is probably going to be one of the last times we're going to see Aiden playing, as he's unfortunately ended up in a life situation where he has to sell out of Magic. So if any of our viewers out there happen to know Aiden, reach out to him and maybe buy some of his Magic cards. Help a guy out. Let go. Bam.
So do we know what game this is? I know it's not game.
I think it's game 2.
Not game 2.
I think it's game 2. And it looks like Aiden got game 1 based on what it says at the bottom of the screen.
Ah, yes. So that means Eric is keeping them.
Yeah, it would look so. Bond of Revival.
Wonder what brought that one up.
Probably having another match. I don't know. Who other than our table manager could say how his mind works?
Yeah, I don't know. We may never know. But we do know that Aiden's mulligan down to 6, which is probably a good thing for Eric, since less likelihood of having a Thoughtseize here.
Yeah. Yeah. How is the? I mean, you've played Team Rhinos. How is the Grixis Death Shadow matchup?
I don't think it's bad. I mean, sideboard you get Leyline of the Void or a bunch of endurances, so it smooths that out a little bit, and then you have a bunch of removal. But now that they're adopting Ledger Fritters, your Dead Gones and Fire Races look a lot worse.
All right.
Into those threats.
Gotcha. No Leyline of Sanctities like the Living End deck.
No, you don't need to play the bad ley lines.
Gotcha.
You get Leyline of the Void, which is just gonna like pose graveyard decks.
Alrighty.
And just make it harder for their game plan to be executed.
Okie doke.
But Drown in the Luck is still an excellent card in the matchup for Grixis Death Shadows.
Yeah, 2-mana counter target Cascade spell is pretty good.
Oh yeah. Doesn't matter if there's cards in the graveyard or not.
No, it doesn't. Since Magic we only care about integers of 0 or greater.
Mm-hmm.
You could have negative cards in your graveyard if that were theoretically possible. If we were playing with some unset that reduced the number of cards in your graveyard, some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Would that lower Crackling Drake's power?
Yes. Well, assuming they weren't in exile, because it also counts cards in exile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm more than
mechanic.
I'm
stray away from
no, I know. Speaking of Crackling Drakes, though, I more than once died to my opponent surgicaling their own spell.
Oh yeah, it's hot.
And just being like, my Crackling Drake, both of my Crackling Drakes now have 3 more power, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
They what?
You die now.
I did get to once brick that, having my opponent's surgical extraction to try to kill me, and I surgicaled in response and refused to take anything from anywhere other than their graveyard.
Yeah, that's a reasonable decision.
They were just like,
don't want to grow the Crackling Drakes.
and
I did this.
Yep, and I cast it off of a swamp too, so I didn't even have to take 2 damage.
The value, stay alive.
I mean, I lost on the next turn, but yes.
Oh. Yeah.
These were in the very early days of Is It Phoenix, and then I figured out how to make my deck good against them. Turns out, just draw better when you're playing Eldrazi Taxes, and include the occasional Chalice of the Void. But not a deck anymore. Outside of Pioneer, it's a Pioneer deck.
Yeah.
Maybe. Is it still a Pioneer deck? I know they banned Expressive Iteration, so I wasn't sure if it.
Legend Trigger though.
Okay.
Still pretty good.
All right. That's a thing to hear. I don't know. We haven't done Pioneer Night with the Legacy event with the energy coming up.
I think Legacy's been more what people have been wanting to play.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm certainly not complaining. More people to play Legacy with. I will certainly doom their days.
Pioneer's not a bad format. Like it's.
I don't know. I'm sure there are people that think the Pioneer is way better than Legacy. I don't want to poo-poo their opinion.
I like Pioneer.
Yeah.
It's just they do not come to the store specifically.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, otherwise, I mean, if we had more interest, we would definitely fire more.
Yeah, or fire both events if we had the interest in that. Yeah.
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 Very plausible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We probably could just let the people hear what we're talking about with how to build possibly 4-color rhinos.
Yeah, oh yeah, your rhinos.
Yeah.
Dimwick's been out of the world.
Oh right, your rhinos was a deck. Yeah, it was like your Nico was playing your rhinomentins for a while.
I just don't like 80 card decks.
80 card decks are rough.
They are very rough.
It's fine. Just your cards just need to like you.
The RNG is not in your favor. It's less likely to draw your cards.
I don't know, man. There are several people where even playing 80 card decks, I'm still like plus over 75% to lead on a vial against them.
Yeah.
Like or leading on vials against them, whereas like they just always cut me to the vial. I'll mulligan. I'll like mulligan see a vial and be like, nah, there's only one land in this hand, gotta throw it away. And then they'll cut me to another they'll cut me to like a double vial hand and be like, all right, well, I don't need 2 vials in this hand.
Yeah.
And put one of them away. Yeah. And then they're just like, how do you always? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, how do you always have it? I'm like, I don't know. How do you always cut me to it?
Yeah.
This is your fault.
Yeah, you've done this. What are you complaining about? It's entirely your fault. So looks like Eric's got 2 rhinos in play. So I
do
mean,
have a 3/5 ledger shredder though.
yeah. I mean, a 3/5 does block a rhino.
Yeah.
And if we get another counter on that, you know the problem with ledger shredder into rhinos, if you're on the rhino side, is it does always connive.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep. Although you could also right. So what about playing ledger shredder in your rhinos deck?
Yeah, it's close. It was a 3-drop.
Yeah, I know. 3-drop. That's what I was waiting for you to say.
The only 2-drop you can play in Rhinos is if you're playing Core Firewalker and you're playing the 80 card version.
Oh yeah.
I think that's like pretty like.
Is burn that bad?
It's just it burns good against 80 card decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
50 mana bases that have to fetch every turn. So
Yeah.
See, this is why I play mono white and still lose to burn anyway.
yeah. burns is just correct. But
Dude, 60 card can't even really deal with burn that well. So
yeah, I mean Rhinos still struggles against burn.
I mean 60 card deaths in Texas. Yeah.
So there's a lot of decks.
Yeah. I think Livian has a medium matchup against them, right? Because they're just like, Leyline of Sanctity.
Well, they can just like, yeah, if they get Leyline of Sanctity, it's way easier. But because they just lock up the board.
Yeah.
But like, if they don't get Leyline, then they just die.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
you can still win through Leyline with Deflecting Palm. They just like attack with the Waker of Waves, and you're like 7.
Yeah.
7 your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
How many Force of Ignitions did you draw this game? Like,
Yeah.
that's all it comes down to.
Yeah. Looks like there was a fight over something. Maybe a expressive iteration given its location currently in the exile zone.
Yeah, and we are going to see an Endurance come down.
Tucking Aiden's graveyard.
Pretty good against DRCs.
Yeah.
It's I think iteration was the draw though.
Yeah. I would say it's probably the best card in the game against Dragon Rage Channeler in particular.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Because if you have to target your own graveyard for some reason, the Dragon Rage Channeler still dies to the 3/4.
It still just dies.
And then if you would target their graveyard, then it's a 1/1.
Blocking it.
I don't even think I block. I just take the hit. I don't want my endurance to die to their lightning bolt.
I'm probably okay with that. If they 2 for
Yeah,
1, but
they do.
Yeah, no, yes.
probably won't.
Yeah, given that this is most likely most commonly happening against Delver and Legacy.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is probably the right move.
2 for 1ing the 2 for 1 guy.
I will say I would block a Delver instead. If it's like, oh, they have a Darcy and a Delver, block the Delver.
Right.
Or like a lethal Murktide Regent, or just a Murktide Regent in general.
Large dragon.
Yeah, big dragons are big. Although I do personally prefer to just kill them before they can get the dragon down, or
That's ideal.
flicker wisp their dragons.
I just try to, make a turtle resolve, and then
Yep.
if it resolves, the game is over.
Yeah, they have like 0 answers to that because they just never get to 5 mana.
They don't really kill it. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
But they do make it pretty hard to resolve. So
I mean, if anybody's it's got to be them.
somebody has to.
Yeah.
We got Pyroblasts on the stack.
Pyroblasts on the stack, also forces.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
And then they try to waste some of your lands.
They can have days to make it awkward for me to play it. So
Yeah. You don't leave up mana, and you instead try to hold up try to have some artifacts to attack with or activate.
Yeah.
I know I've gotten you with that once.
yeah,
I think literally once.
it'll never happen again.
You say that.
Well, never. Unless that's my only option.
Yes.
Then you have to. All right. Well, Eric's gonna take care of Aiden's Ledger Fritter here and just go with the player removal option.
Yeah.
Crashing in for 8 damage. Just 8 out 1.
Sometimes you just gotta kill them.
Just kill him.
Yeah. Player removal, best removal.
Rhinos faces a similar scenario as 8 so you just kind of resolve your thing, and
Hope it goes
once
well.
you've resolved it, you probably win.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So that's gonna do it for round number 3 here. We do have one more round coming up.
I think the players are 1-1, so I think we're
we're
gonna have another.
1-1.
I think we're gonna have another. We're gonna have another game.
I misspoke.
Yeah. Because looks like Eric is making some sideboard decisions, and Aiden is
Yeah, we're not packing it up yet.
shuffling up for another game there.
Okay, well, players have 9 minutes left.
Both of these decks can definitely win in 9 minutes.
So, might have a extension of some kind. Do we know? For moving over to the different table.
Probably like a minute or two. Probably like 2 minutes. I don't think I said anything to them. We could definitely run out there and let them know.
When it gets a little lower on time, if it happens.
Yeah, if it's looking like it might be necessary for the players.
Yeah, probably at the 1 minute mark.
Yeah.
Just crunch.
Yep.
Bend it. Bend it.
Yeah. Yeah. We have 1/3 of our Rhinos players back here with us tonight, right?
Yeah.
So there were 3 people on Rhinos. Eric was, I think Eric was saying, somebody was saying to me earlier.
Somebody was saying that.
Oh, I think it was Adam was saying to me. Aaron and
Yeah.
Eric and Jirok.
Yes.
And then you also play Rhinos from time to time.
I haven't slaved up for it.
Yeah. And Aquino was asking me earlier which deck I thought would be better, Rhinos or Living End at the energy. And I was like, I don't know, man. It depends on what's going on the week before.
Yeah. It really does.
Like, if it looks like if a bunch of people are playing Living End the week before, I would play Rhinos. If not, you can probably spike with Living End. I mean, you could probably spike with Living End anyway.
Living End's pretty good.
You can always just
Turns out,
draw very well every round.
I definitely want all of my opponents to be on Living End as a Death and Taxes player. That matchup of the Cascade decks, I think that is just as bad as the Glimpse deck. Both of those decks are slow enough that I just get to do my thing.
They don't really kill creatures as well either.
Yeah. The Glimpse one kind of does. I think it has a couple of spells, but yeah, and Living End wanting that critical massive stuff in their graveyard before they go firing off their Living End gets me time to get an Archon or a Thalia in play. And
Probably a 4
lands
laner
is that?
that Eric kept, and he threw another one off the top. I saw him running a lot of lands earlier.
is that double Brazen Borrower?
It's double brazen
Triple
bar,
brazen?
mystical dispute.
Oh, Mystical Dispute. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that is not a great hand if Eric doesn't top deck.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna take a picture instead of.
Oh.
Which, fun fact, totally a thing you're allowed to do at even a competitive REL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
It's good to know.
actually, I might be
Fascinating.
thinking about that.
I
It's
think I
definitely
picked
a
it up.
regular. I forget if it was I forget. There was some video. I was reading something today that was like going over what you're allowed to use your phone for competitive RL. That might not actually be one of the things you're allowed to use. I don't remember. I know it's
pretty
for
reasonable.
something. Yeah, I mean, like it's just sitting there face up. You know, I would be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I think they encourage the use of notebooks. So
Right.
yeah, they want you to use a notebook. But I mean, you should already have one if you're tracking your opponent's life, yours and your opponent's life. There should be some sort of paper nearby.
Some sort of pad.
Yeah. Whether you're using a boogie board or a notebook.
Etch a sketch.
If you can track life totals that efficiently on an Etch a Sketch, I think that's another situation where that's another situation where I'm just going to concede to you. That's just impressive. just
Great, you got it.
just like with the getting double chalice on zero play we were talking about.
It's like, oh, I'll go to 19 off the fetch right. Figure it out real quick. Oh, 17. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, sure.
That would be pretty funny. I would just like, oh shit, I forgot to get on my life tracker.
Top 8 of a GP or something. Everyone's around there, like on the casting, they're just like trying to help you out, give you a piece of paper. They're just like, no, this is my preferred method.
It's my preferred method.
Boogie board or something a little better? No.
I don't know. You know those? Okay, so the other thinking, those like magnetic, like the board,
Yeah.
boards that like
The pen.
with the pens that are like magnetic. Yeah, one of those.
That would be better.
I mean, they are really bad.
It'd be better than an etch a sketch.
But, like, you know how boogie boards die to
Oh,
like
yeah.
heat and stuff really bad? Like these things die to existing.
They have a lifespan.
They do. I mean, they're a bunch of really, really tiny magnets. And their magnets, get screwed up eventually.
Those magnets.
That's magnets.
How the fuck do those work?
Yeah. I was about to say. I was about to say, Quaff Mad Jester Group magnets. How the fuck do they work?
Those work, dude.
Still don't know.
All right. So I can explain to you how magnets work. And then I can explain to you how we don't know how magnets work. Then you'll eventually learn that we do know how magnets work, except for the part where we still don't know how magnets work.
Good song. That is.
Oh, I'm just talking about if you learn how magnets work in physics. Those clowns, man. All right.
That's attempted to brazen bar lance spell pierced.
Oof.
Not brazen bar, yeah. Petty
Petty
theft.
theft.
Yeah. How did that mystical dispute end up in exile?
Ragavan.
Ah, neat.
There's
You just missed that completely.
Yeah, I did.
It got dashed.
No, I saw the Ragavan. I missed the hit.
It got.
So hopefully Eric is drawing non-land cards.
That would be the hope.
Already got plenty of lands in hand. That's kind of why I like the Fable, because you could keep a hand like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it makes you a 2/2,
Yeah.
and then another 2/2 that makes more boys.
And you get to discard your lands and draw non-lands.
Yep.
Or more
Oh,
lands.
or more lands.
And
But then you dig faster through those lands.
Beautiful.
The fewer lands you have in your deck, the fewer there are to draw. Only play 2 lands.
I never get to my third land to cast my Cascader. What? I wonder why.
All right, sorry. I'll only play exactly enough lands to cast your most expensive
Just
spell.
play 3 Scalding Tarn and call it a day. That's it. I think this people take care of the ledger shredding.
Yeah. Do say any blue spell, not just on non-creature spells. Shredder do be a blue spell.
Who would have thought?
Yep.
Turns out this one in a blue 1/3 is a blue spell.
Yeah. That has to be a first. Like, what are they smoking over at Wizards?
You know what? I can't even think of any other 1 in a blue spells. Definitely not like Time Walk or Sigiled Starfish or Mystical Teachings is 4 mana. Merchant Scroll
Yep.
All right, I'm trying to think of as many blue one and a blue spells as possible.
Trick bind.
Yes, Trick Bind is one and a blue.
Anticipate.
Yep. That card, Impulse.
Gainsay.
I know that's a spell, but I
You know
don't.
what Gainsay
I
does?
do not remember for the life of me what Gainsay is. You know,
It
my
counters the blue card.
oh yeah, counter target blues. Dude, this is just worse guttural response.
It really is.
Oh wait, no, actually, I think blue guttural response only hits instants. This is just different guttural response. I know many cards.
Yeah. This
There's
card saw standard play.
I don't play standard.
But this standard
there's-
is good.
Standard.
I didn't play standard ever. There is a finite amount of space even in my brain when it comes to Magic cards. I have to know every random shitty Legends rare,
Yeah.
like Triassic Egg. Dingus Egg is actually good.
Yeah.
Just gonna search every egg. What are all of the eggs? Egg.
Got a couple.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, looks like Eric just drew nothing but lands this game. And,
Yeah,
he didn't
that's
have a bunch of
rough.
counter spells.
That's rough.
All right, well, that is actually going to do it for round 3 here. Time just ended in the round for our players, and we'll be moving on to round number 4 here shortly.
Fact. Oh, it didn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work. Chimeric list of eggs. Chimeric egg, 3 mana artifact. Whenever opponent plays a non-artifact spell, put a charge counter on it, and then you can remove 3 charge counters to make it a 6/6 until end of turn.
Hey man, maybe that's the sideboard tech for Murktide.
I mean, in limited,
Charge steal no, this set was so incredibly artifact focused. If you were playing
non-artifact?
non-artifact spell, no, this is so bad.
I read that as non-creature.
No, this card is so bad.
Wow.
Because yeah, that's a good
It's
question.
Bad.
Creatures exist.
But so many of those
Nah, I mean-
were artifacts.
And it's not even a non-artifact card. It doesn't even hit lands.
It's place a spell.
That would still be bad, but it'd be better than this.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
how bad this is.
yeah. No, this card's really. That's why I told you this is so bad.
The card's cool. But
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on.
it's interesting.
My second favorite personal egg-related card, Orochi Egg Watcher, just because it flips into a card that turns all of your random creatures that are lying around into giant growth.
Okay, all of your snake packed into.
Yeah, man. In Snake Shaman Tribal in EDH.
Yeah.
With Sachi, daughter of Seshiro. Yes. The good old 29 land special. Just because as long as I can get to 2 mana, I can get to 4 mana.
Enough.
But then my favorite egg, Triassic Egg. 4 mana artifact from Legends, 3 and tap, put a charge counter on it. Then is it only during your upkeep? No, it's whenever you want. Remove 2 charge counters from it and sacrifice it, and it's from graveyard or hand.
Yeah.
It also reanimates.
Okay.
You just had to put 10 mana into this artifact over 2 turns.
It's also a hatchling counter, so it's not a charge counter. You can't even cheat that.
Oh, it's a hatchling counter. Wow. You can't even charge. You can't even.
Not a chance.
I was actually talking with someone about this earlier today about this card's also almost the same as what's the card I was thinking of? There's some other card from Legends that's like 60 cents if you have the Chronicles version, but $60 if you have the Legends version.
Oh yeah.
And this is almost the same where it's $25 if you have the Legends version and 29 cents if you have the Chronicles version.
Yeah, Chronicles sucks.
Yeah,
People do not like Whiteboard.
I had a Chronicles version of this card, and I met a guy who had the Legends version, and it was exactly $13 or $12.99 different. And he accepted just $12 in exchange of the eggs because he was playing it in his commander deck. He wanted the egg. I wanted his Black Border Triassic egg.
Yeah.
So yeah, I paid $12 for a Triassic egg. I doubled my money, Darren.
Never lose.
Yeah. So what Legends card is it? I think it's also a rare. Set.
That's this rare.
No, there's another. I know that's a rare. There's another Legends. I think it's a rare. I don't remember. It's some absolutely awful card that I'm just like, oh yes, this card is so bad. Obviously, it's like a meme. It's like meme bad. Oh, dude, Tackle Maggot. I need to get myself a. Oh, yeah. All right, we're coming at you here with modern round 4 here at Chupacabra Games. We're gonna have Bobby on Tameshi Bloom versus I think it's Will. Yeah, Will on Amulet Titan. Just have to change the first line again. Bobby. Oops, that says a different word. Oh. Tameshi Bloom. Alrighty. We haven't had any draws yet, but I'm still gonna keep leaving this draw option on there just in case we end up with a draw. I don't know how many channel points I have. How many channel points do I have? I have 177 because I lost them all. My money's on the Titan player. 177. Done. Predict will. Close. Whoop-a-doop. Alrighty. So I don't know. Other than speed, what the Titan player really has on their side here, I don't think it's a whole lot. They other than speed and consistency, I don't think Titans really got a lot on their side. They can't really interact with the Tameshi Bloom combo. Well, if at all. The Lotus Petal being a mana ability means you can't blow it up, and putting it in the graveyard is kind of where Tameshi wants it in the first place. Yes. And Matt's just staring at me. Oh, you could. It'd probably be fine. All right. Well, hi Matt.
Hello.
You have zero modern knowledge, you say?
Zero current modern.
I mean, hey, I was like that for Pioneer a couple weeks ago, or a
Uh,
month, 2 months ago now. At this point,
What was the last time Soul Sisters was good?
okay.
I'm showing my age. I realize that.
Was it ever?
Okay. Okay.
That's what I was wondering. Really.
A good matchup against Grixis Death Shadow when that first hit the scene, and
Also burn.
also Burn. Pretty good. Burn wasn't even a matchup. That was a free win. What are you talking about?
Yeah, just like Martyr Proc now. Which was, I mean, it was realistically just like the better version of your deck, right?
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, Martyr Proc was
Absolutely.
just
I'm
the better.
talking like 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
So it has been a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So, I mean, I can answer. I'm pretty well versed in modern. I can answer any of your questions if you've wondering what's going on over here. Do you know how the Tameshi Bloom combo wins the game?
not even remotely.
All right. So you know the card. Do you know the card Finale of Devastation?
Yes.
All right. So do you know the card Cultivator Colossus?
Where?
Okay. So imagine a Cultivator Colossus after a Finale of Devastation. For at least X equals 10, and their entire deck is in their hand.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Big thick.
So modern just never stopped doing bad things to people. It just found new ways to do
Yeah.
bad things to
New
people.
worse things to do to people.
New worse ways.
New worse things to do to people. You probably remember Titan. Titan was, I think, a deck back then.
Titan, yeah. As long as I remember playing modern, Titan was always a thing.
Yeah, it doesn't have Summer Bloom anymore. If that was a thing back when you were playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just use Azusa and Dryad of the Elysian Grove, and all of their lands get to be mountains, and they just validate you to death, and they can kill you on turn 2. Titan can double amulet. Titan can 20 you on turn 2.
Yeah. How is that somehow more consistent than the quote unquote God hand that it used to be?
Because I think they used to be able to kill you. I think they used to be able to do more than 20. I think they used to be able to, because so Titans 20 on turn,
like with the
Titans
setup.
Titans 20 on 2 right now. Kills you, but not through a removal spell. So if you have like Path to Exile or Solitude, the Titan just goes away,
Ooh.
and you don't take any damage.
Clearly,
that.
something has just happened.
Oh yes, I think Bobby just got.
I've been thinking about the good old days. Now we're just like,
I think Bobby just got his cheeks clapped, as I have been told the kids may say. I don't know. You being a younger man than me,
I feel like you're splitting hairs. It's like
you're also like what, like 4 years older than me. I think.
wait, how does that work? Both older and younger than me.
I don't know. Yeah, there we go. What he said.
Yeah, he flew to.
No. You're the time traveler.
Oh, I'm the time traveler. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm Chris Pratt.
I don't remember how time travel works, but you know.
Are we talking like?
Actually, I guess I could also be the.
Lightyear?
Well, so fun fact: Buzz Lightyear is
Probably the most accurate.
it is consistent with the laws of physics,
Well, yeah,
because it's just him go because it's just him go fast.
Yeah,
Is
he
how he
goes.
gets
He goes fast.
is how he
Everybody
gets
else does.
yeah is how he
Yeah.
ends up back in the future.
Okay, good, because that makes sense. Other than whatever the God's name is going on in Terminator,
Yeah, I don't know.
or
Well, that's also that's also backwards time travel, which, as far as we're aware, requires faster than light travel, which isn't possible because universal speed limit.
right, it's because it's effectively the same thing, tying it back to magic. But at least magic and Marvel has the excuse of magic stones and Teferi. Also, that guy. I know nobody can look at it, but the presence of the master.
Yeah. I was gonna say, the viewers at home may recall we were looking at Legends cards earlier. Presence of the Master literally has Einstein's face on it.
Oh yeah, truly the greatest planeswalker of all. Really,
Is he a planeswalker? I don't.
is he not?
I guess he could be.
I mean, not every planeswalker from back in the day has a card. I don't think. But also used to be like
no.
gods.
Yes. Yeah. Pre-mending.
Yeah, pre-mending, they were
no.
gods, and now they're just really powerful.
So speaking of pre-mending, I saw a Twitter thread yesterday, I think. That was from somebody who used to work at Wizards on like the lore team, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. Who said that their personal headcanon and like a thing they actually had like written. This was related to a thing they had actually written in like a I forget if it was like a style guide or what, but it was like something that's like, here's how Bolus is.
Okay, so
So was that Nicol Bolas post mending is going through, like, the reason he's doing he did the War of the Spark and is trying to retain or like re-achieve his godhood. Imagine having an intellect unbound by matter, and then the mending happens, and now all of the sudden your brain is the limit. Your mind had no bound, and now it does, and you have the worst case of dementia. But it's not getting any worse. You just know what you.
he's schizophrenic.
No. He's not schizophrenic. He has the most awful case of dementia because he is constantly aware of the intellect he no longer possesses. And so his entire
form of
Yes.
Alzheimer's is when you're aware of what you for. Oh
yes,
my God.
because he knows what he used to have, and it isn't there anymore.
Yeah, trust me. Once you start getting older,
So,
forgetting stuff,
All of the
I feel
all of so his entire motivation is just trying to be able to like not have to have that anymore.
He just wants to remember where he put his keys.
Yeah,
I mean, he knows how to do everything
he
else.
knows he yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
No,
So
like-
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the match here. Just to get us at least a little more back on rails.
We're so far.
And fine going off rails, that's fine. Billy, I just want to hop back. What if you had to pick some sideboard cards that you think might be in these decks? What would you be wanting to see coming out of both of these decks for their opponents?
Oh, geez. Okay, who's playing what? Right. All right. We got
So we have Tameshi Bloom.
Tameshi Bloom.
You're trying to loop an artifact out of you're trying to loop Black Lotus in and out of your graveyard.
Well, yeah. It's an artifact combo.
and then
Colors?
4
Okay, so it's 4 color.
non-black.
Non-black. Okay, and obviously
Amulet Titan
Amulet
has
Titan.
all of the colors also.
Christ, because it's it's so odd coming into like a modern meta where you're
Realistically, Amulet Titan is red green if they're playing, or is
if they're
mostly mono green, but maybe red green if they're playing a sideboard.
okay.
Maybe
I mean,
occasionally blue.
Like realistically, like okay, do people still sideboard in like Ancient Grudge and
So-
Nature's Claim? I think it destroy artifact.
Yeah. So the problem with that is that the Tameshi Bloom combo involves looping the artifact from its graveyard.
Yeah, so
Like you needed to get to the yard anyway. So like it just gets you less. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Tormod's Crypt. Here's instead of Tormod's Crypt. This is super great timing. We like to call this card Tormod's Whip. maybe our table manager will pull it up. I know I can't type in. All right, there we go. Unlicensed Hearse. 2 mana artifact vehicle. Tap, exile 2 target cards from one singular graveyard. And then unlicensed Hearse power and toughness are each equal to the number of exiled cards exiled with it. And crew 2. Card can be crewed by a arboreal grazer that has been targeted by Slayer's Stronghold, which is not relevant, but it is repeated graveyard hate, which is the relevant part.
you could do a thing that isn't relevant to the current board.
No. It's a thing the deck can do. It just doesn't really occur that often. But when you need to, this potentially 12/12.
Right. See I believe I saw an Eladamri's call
For Magus of the
Obviously,
Moon.
for Magus. That's a power play right there.
I mean, it's you against Titan. You don't want to be bringing in Blood Moons because they have the Beseiju and they have the Force of Vigors, and those are just gonna blow up.
yeah, that's gonna
The Blood Moons. Yeah. Whereas, which is why I was saying Nature's Claims and stuff, not really the best normally against the combo.
Right,
But
that
if
makes sense.
they have the Blood Moons, the Blood Moons are gonna. Yeah, they make it the mountains. They make it the mountains, and then you blow up the Blood Moon, and then you no longer have it the mountains.
Mario after a minute.
Yep.
Okay, so
There we go. All right, Will trying to cast a Explorer here off of no green mana, plays a forest, and then puts his Explorer into play or into the graveyard, casting it, putting a tap. You know what's great about Magus of the Moon? Your tap lands, your bounce lands, they come into play untapped.
oh yeah,
Because we had that rules change, you see, so that now, so it used to be that if Blood Moon was in play, shock lands still had their replacement effects, so they would come in tapped unless you paid 2 life.
Right.
But now, here's one of the sideboard cards. We do have some black cards coming out of the
dismember.
Dispeople.
Yeah, dismember.
Which member?
Obviously dismember.
All right.
I don't think that's ever gonna not be a sideboard card. Like that's just such a
It's just any creature hate, or it's just the universal creature hate.
yeah,
You
like
pay 4 mana, or you pay 4 life and 1 mana,
'Cause
and the thing just goes away.
yeah, it just goes away. Like
It's just gone.
You pay 4 life, 1 mana.
Cavern
It
on
goes
Giant.
in it goes in every color, and realistically, you need to give me a good reason to not run dismember in your sideboard at like
I play white.
you
So
put
I have
life
I
in-
have Path to Exile.
I mean,
Why would I want to give something -5/-5 when I can just exile it?
okay,
I also have 4 of Sol. I also play Solitude and Skytrade Apparition and March of Otherworldly Light. Like the only good white removal spell I can't play, and it's not even a can't. It's just it's not very good because March is better because I'm playing mono white. Is Prismatic Ending. I just all of my removal exiles. Why would I want to not be able to remove your Murktide Regent when it's a 6/6? I can just make it go away forever.
well, okay, yeah. I have played my hand and I have been called. My bluff has been called.
Because there's better removal in my colors, Matthew.
I am aware of this. Clearly, I'm not. Playing since 2003. Obviously, I'm a good Magic player.
Hey man, you've been playing for 6 years longer than I have.
And I'm still an idiot.
No. I just think that while you have the duration, I have the volume.
It's fair. That's fair. The last few years, I paid attention to nothing but Commander, and clearly that when you play with Commander as opposed to like an actual format.
As your employer is acutely aware, I recently
Heard of me.
what? I'm so confused.
So, like, going from like playing Commander, you're so used to seeing certain cards that, like, you know,
Oh,
If
that's
you
what
were-
I'm saying. Your
yeah.
employer. I was just gonna talk about how his employer is acutely aware of the fact that I recently acquired 2 UCs because I bought them from him. You don't want me to tell people that you're a great place to spend $1,300 on UCs?
like the name of the store isn't in the fucking.
Yeah, come to Chupacabra Games, light $1,300 on fire, and then the owner will give you 2 UCs.
This pod cannot go up. Holy shit.
I didn't say what his name is. I just said you're an employer. It's fine. I know his address. I can say that if we want.
Watching. Holy shit.
You're not accounting for the people that are going to watch the VOD later.
It's not going up. I'm coaching right now.
I mean, I genuinely. All right, so like, hear me out.
Okay.
We could you could look up Chupacabra Games on the internet, and if you can't figure out the one that's in Naperville, Illinois, and where that one is, you don't need to be showing up.
Yeah, you probably.
If
only one Chupacabra games.
I was gonna say, if Jurok can figure out where we are,
Yeah, he's reformed.
yes, all right. Sorry, Jurok is a Magic player now. He is smart.
He is reforming.
Yeah, you know.
Game's fine.
You're not a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I know it makes you money. You just go get yourself another beer, guy.
I'm on commentary.
All right, whatever. So Titan has all these lands in play, and Temestri Bloom is doing its thing. You know what's funny about these decks? They both play Cultivator Colossus.
Well, yeah, it's a good fucking card.
Eh.
Again, the commander player in me is like,
Dice to dress down.
oh, PP big.
Dice to dress down.
That's fair.
Fucking alcohol.
Not so loud, man. I'm talking about the bottle. People are just fucking. This is generally what happens in round 4. Last week, Nico and I spent like 15 minutes talking about his family.
Yeah, remedy.
Yeah, that man has 4 children.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's no, Nico.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not actually married, but like.
I'm pressing forward. We're so far off the information.
Yeah, that's fine.
Holy shit. Okay. Obviously, I see a prime time. Cultivator Colossus.
There's an Urza Saga.
Oh yeah. Okay, so when Urza Saga first hit the scene
Yes, a year ago.
actually, it's
And an enchantment.
wow.
And also a set.
You beat me to it. Anyway,
Oh, and also a combination of types on a card. It is both the name and types on that Magic card.
so when Urza Saga first hit the scene, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of hype around it, but there was a lot of
There were a lot of
stupid
stupid
people calling for it to.
There were a lot of
it's too powerful.
Yeah, I was
to
gonna
be
say
banned.
there were a lot of stupid people saying it needed to be banned in one format or
Let's
another.
be real. Let's be real. There's a lot of stupid people saying.
And I think that
should be banned.
I think that card is. There are several people who have gone on record in various podcasts with their voicing their opinion about how the card's power level, who I agree with heavily. Where every format it's legal in, it is of a perfectly appropriate power level for that format.
Okay.
It's based on like in modern, you're not grabbing anything crazy. There are no retrofitter foundries. There are no cursed scrolls.
Right. There's nothing.
Like
So
there are things that are powerful, like Shadow Spear.
Oh. Yeah.
You make 2 constructs, but like people were saying it needed to go in Legacy, but Legacy is a format with Wasteland.
Yeah. Cool. you get your you play your Urza Saga. Cool. I'm just gonna waste
Yeah,
time, whatever.
Get that shit out of my house.
Bippity boppity, whatever. Get out. So, my question.
My answer.
So, given that this was a card that dropped and immediately saw, regardless of what format,
Oh yeah, it
what
was
cards.
boatloads of play.
Oh yeah, I mean it sees enough play. I don't think it was the boogeyman that people think it was.
No,
Obviously,
Ragavan was obviously a greater offender given its ban and legacy. But what was your
So my question to you,
Yes.
it's more of an opinion based one.
sure?
What card can you remember coming out hitting the scene that people hyped up way too much than wanted to be banned in any format?
Well, okay, so
Because
I get where you're going. Where it's like you're looking for a card where it's like
an immediate
if there was a card that people are just like, oh, this needs to go immediately.
Okay,
Smuggler's Copter. I think Smuggler's Copter was an immediate thing. I think Smuggler's Copter was just an after time thing.
it was okay.
Oko is probably a good contender there. That card only having pluses was cracked.
No, I'm talking like people hyped it up like it needed to be banned, but it actually didn't.
Oh, sure,
Because it didn't live up to that.
Yeah, show me on the doll where the elk touched you.
Okay, so
Sorry. Show me on the elk where the twink touched you.
oh,
I mean,
all right. Take.
have you seen Oko?
I mean, Oko do be kind of yummy, but
have you seen this twink?
I mean, like I said,
look at this.
Kind of yummy.
Like that is not an otter. And it sure as shit ain't a bear. That is a twink.
Okay, so
okay.
Overhyped cards that didn't need to be where.
All right, so if we're just talking about cards that had an enormous initial knee-jerk reaction that was overblown and there was no actual action that needed to be taken, Upheaval.
Oh yeah.
When it was printed into Modern last summer in Modern Horizons, a bunch of idiot Commander players who don't know the ban list.
What's the difference?
The joke there being, for any listeners who are unaware, Upheaval is already banned in Commander.
Play Commander.
And it's a social format. It's fun.
It is. It's a board game. It's not.
I mean, Magic in general is a board game. It's just that positioning is very zone. It's just zones, and multiple things can occupy the same space on the board.
Fair.
And it's just geez, cards that were like wildly overhyped.
Can I give you mine?
All right.
Even more recent than that, New Capenna. Being a Commander player,
Yeah.
I saw a knee-jerk reaction from a lot of Commander players.
Oh, if we're just
About Lord Xander. No, I'm not talking just specifically, but this is the one that.
Oh yeah,
Lord
Lord Xander needed to go. So I thought we were talking like saying like real cards and real format.
Yeah. Like my whole thing was with Lord Xander. Everybody came out. Now I'm someone who almost exclusively plays Grixis in Commander, right?
Overblown, yeah.
And when I saw Lord Xander, I was like, he's great in the 99. He's great in the 99. He's not a commander. He costs too much for Grixis.
No, you have so Grixis has a lot of artifact ramp.
They have a lot of artifact ramp,
and then
they have better commanders.
and rituals. Also, there's Jeweled Lotus. I don't know if you want a commander that's like fuck one person in particular. Pretty good.
I mean,
fuck that guy right there in particular. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But all right. Overhyped card people thought was going to kill Vintage. Like destroy the format, no longer playable. By same set, same like
because you said kill a format. Any card in Pauper. Continue.
I don't know, man. Shadowspear might actually be could potentially be doing some real damage there.
In Pauper? Why is that in Pauper?
Because it was printed in as a common in Modern in Double Masters. Yeah. So burn is mostly just like the vintage burn deck or the legacy burn deck.
What
Like you're missing a couple cards, but it's most of the legacy burn deck.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Like you're missing Eidolons and you're missing Goblin Guides,
Magic the Gathering is a well-balanced game.
but it's mostly the legacy burn deck.
Okay.
Because Fire Blast is legal. Actually, I might be wrong about that. Fire Blast might not actually be legal. Don't quote me on that. In Pauper.
Bopper.
No, Fire Blast is legal. So, but no,
Okay.
the card that people thought was going to kill Vintage,
Okay.
make the format completely unplayable,
Okay.
and just ruin the whole thing. From the same set as Urza Saga, Void Mirror.
Real.
Do you know what the card does?
I mean, yeah, like, what am I miss? I'm missing something here
All right, so 2 mana.
because I don't play Vintage.
I would like to say this is for the overhyped.
I can't
people-
put a card
where
rating
people-
on. I can't play Vintage.
Yeah. Where people thought it was going to destroy the format and it just didn't. It sees rounding error, no play. So, like if you want to talk about overhyped in a format, people thought this card was going to literally make the format unplayable.
Just to commentate on the ongoing game, I believe it is currently 1-1.
Yeah, that's what it says at the bottom.
Uh,
We don't need to commentate about the current game.
so we just want to,
No, we're gonna finish this conversation.
no.
Yeah, I know.
Quick aside.
Yeah, sure. They're 1-1. They're resolving the mulligans.
We're like the channel. We're like the 11 o'clock news. Nobody actually wants to
Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan used to go off on these giant tangents all the time, and they're the best. They're one of the best commentating duos in Magic history. So if we're gonna do it. I think two random. I think two random skinny white guys. I mean, we don't have a black guy back here, but two random skinny white guys can probably do the same thing.
Have you ever watched a baseball game?
Yep.
They spend not a lot of time actually talking about the game.
Have you ever watched baseball? It's there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, don't get me wrong, baseball. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. No. I still think baseball is a terrible and shitty sport, but it produces some great numbers.
Oh God! If you love numbers, baseball is just
Baseball is fantastic. No, I love baseball for its numbers. I never want to watch another game of baseball for the rest of my life or any of the lives of any of my descendants.
okay. Have you ever been to a game?
Yes,
The state of
that's why I don't want to watch baseball.
you and I have very different experiences.
All right, so I will say the last time I was at a baseball game, I was not 18.
Okay.
So the thing that I have been told is the best part of baseball, drinking overpriced shitty beer.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like shitty beer, so now if I could bring beer to a baseball game, beer to a baseball game, then maybe we'd have a conversation. But like, I am not interested in drinking your piss water.
I mean, you're right. I can't say you're wrong, but
Like, if you find me a baseball field that serves craft beers, like good craft beers,
ooh, okay, that's gonna be an issue.
like I want some sours, I want some
There are a lot of
gozes.
good breweries, a lot of good microbreweries in our area, and
I know.
and
All right, so all right, sorry, hold on. Let me finish. We'll talk about. We're gonna talk about beer as soon as I finish telling you about Void Mirror. So Void Mirror, 2 mana artifact,
okay.
just 2 generic mana. Counter any spell, or if a spell is cast and no colored mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. No Moxen. Shops no longer works. Mishra's Workshop, the deck. The whole stats deck built on that just no longer works. It was just, Moxen don't work anymore. All right, well, Vintage is now who resolves their Void Mirror first. Because you just shit all of your Moxen into play and then play your Void Mirror. And then now your opponent can't play their Moxen. Because they cost 0 mana. So they get countered. It did nothing.
Yeah,
It was massively overblown. Card's awful.
it's like it dicks one deck. Yeah,
But it's not even a sideboard card for against that deck most of the time.
yeah, no, like in Vintage, I feel like because you said it, what 2 mana?
2 mana. Which I mean isn't like you have Soul Ring, you have
Yeah, I
Toxin,
feel
you have Black Lotus.
yeah, but
That's
like,
very easily turn oneable, but it's just like it
I feel like in that format,
Oh, it also stops Taxian Probe and Mental Mist.
right? But you could be doing so much better stuff with 2 mana.
Exactly.
In that, it's like
So the deck that
it's
the,
like
the
why?
problem is
Why would you do that?
the problem is the deck that would really want it is also the deck it hurts the most. Shops,
Yeah,
the colorless stacks, the mono brown, effectively mono brown stacks deck
right.
is the deck that would want it the most, but it's also the deck it hurts the most, so it can't play it. So just seasonal play.
Yeah, so like every other
That was
wants
that's
to be-
the one I can think that's the most overblown.
yeah, because like you got to think of it like, okay, yeah, you can ramp to 2 mana, but you got to look at all your spells. Like, all right, I can slot this in at 2 mana.
Oh, it's just no,
What is a better option?
It's not even
at 2 mana.
It's not even
And
that.
every
It's just
other
that
deck has a better option.
it's not even that. It's just that the collateral of not your own Moxen, not like future Moxen you draw, not working is too much.
Yeah, no,
It also like
yeah,
it also just
that makes sense.
it also just like if Shops just gets a Mox down before you, or like gets like if they're able to get any other land in there into play. Like they don't have many, but they have a couple lands that make colored mana.
right.
So they just need one of those. One. All you need
Yeah.
to stop this is one colored mana spent to cast the spell. So it was just, like that's what I'm saying. It was just a massive knee-jerk reaction. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go back to beer.
I too would like to go back to beer.
All right. So you were saying that we have a bunch of great microbreweries.
Yeah,
over here.
there's
So
a lot of
I'm
great
as some of our viewers may be aware, I am getting engaged, or I am getting engaged. I am engaged. I am getting married. My fiance currently goes to school. I don't want to dox her, so we're just gonna say she goes to school in another state in a location that has many breweries in the local area. Yeah, so there's a bunch of breweries in that area. One of my favorite restaurants in that area has advertises 100 different beers on tap.
I know
it's
you know,
great.
Yeah,
I'll-
no, I've been
I think you know the place I'm talking about.
I know exactly where you're talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right across the street from another brewery that has like that literally just like does tasting, like does like literally like their main shtick is doing beer flights. There's
Yeah.
like driving to there from her now apartment. You pass like 6 driving to and from. You pass like 6 breweries
Right.
or like the distribution warehouses for like another like 2 or 3. It's great. There's so many great beers. Here also fantastic. Like you have the Chicago River. They also have lakes, some lakes in the area as water sources, as you're aware.
Yeah.
So like great water
Yeah,
sources and
there's
stuff.
There's a lot of local stuff. There's a lot of like small local stuff. Like
Yeah.
I
mean that
personally, I go play Magic at a I play Commander at a brewery.
Yeah. There are
it's all horror themed.
Yeah.
And everything, I have yet to taste anything from that place that's not.
Yeah, I mean, I am not a huge fan of hoppier beers. I generally like the stuff to be like I like sours, gozes.
Oh, so, yeah. Pilsners?
Haven't had any really. I've gone most
Pilsner.
so like
You probably
generally when I'm
Like, if you
choosing
like smoother stuff, you'll probably
yeah.
like a
So
Pilsner.
generally like I hate Guinness. So
being Irish, I like Guinness, but that's
me too. But I'm being Irish. I just don't like Guinness.
interesting.
I like Scotch.
Who doesn't?
A lot of people actually.
I don't talk to them.
Oh, I guess you'll. Okay. Sure.
You'll
I mean, like, all right, hey,
our
hey,
viewers
so
will
here's-
find that
so
I'm
here's
the
my
epitome of
opinion.
hyperbole.
No. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
I knew that would do that.
I hate you.
I said it.
So, here's my opinion of people who don't drink Scotch. They are some of my favorite people in the world. Do you want to know why? More for me.
I had not considered this.
Yeah.
I had not considered.
My grandfather, on my mom's side, the man loves Scotch. My first Christmas after turning 21, he split buying a bottle of Scotch for me. With my dad, they bought me the two of them got me a bottle of Scotch as a Christmas present.
Okay.
And every year since they've gotten me attempted to get me a different bottle of scotch. One year they got me the same bottle as one I had gotten before. Not that I was complaining. It was a retread of my favorite bottle of scotch they've gotten me so far.
Maybe childhood flashbacks when you said continue.
But yeah. So my mom also loves scotch. My dad loves scotch. My aunt's current husband loves scotch. Her ex-husband also loves scotch. My aunt fucking hates scotch. It comes up occasionally. We do family Zoom calls on Wednesdays. It comes up occasionally that she's like the only member of the family that doesn't like scotch. My fiance also doesn't like scotch, but yeah, that's fine. Like I said, more for me. So our reaction is always like, people always start out giving her shit. I'm like, guys, we've had this conversation probably 24 times now. Who cares if Pat doesn't like scotch? More for the rest of us.
There you go.
And her husband is always just like, that was exactly what I was gonna say. That's exactly my opinion. That's why we have scotch in the house, is so I can drink it. Because I know that
They've been married so long.
no, they've been married for a year.
Why they've been married so
They've
long?
been together for 10 though. So
At some point, it's a matter of just signing papers.
yeah, well, so they live
let's be
in a state where common law is a thing. It was realistically just like formalizing things for the legal standpoint.
Well, yeah.
It was just to make things easier.
Yeah, hey.
So but yeah,
At
yeah,
some
no,
point-
I don't know. I've mostly for determining for trying a beer, I've gone off of its type or its IBU. Time Spiral remastered printing of Lotus Bloom. Has
I didn't say.
it has the original art for
The
Black
original
Lotus was done by Christopher Rush. This art is also done by Christopher Rush. It is the pre-release promo of Lotus Bloom that was drawn by Christopher Rush for the original Time Spiral set prior to his
Okay.
death.
Yeah. Okay.
So, which is, I mean, Time Spiral came out in like 2007, so like 10 years prior to his death.
Yeah. No.
He died like 2016.
So 2007. It was actually during.
Yes, and then
it
they
was
printed it
weird
as
because-
Old Border because Time Spiral Remastered had Old Border.
Actually, I bought Time Spiral.
Yeah, but
back in the day.
so you wouldn't have seen that art. That was only in the pre-release.
It was
kit-
only a
kit-
pre-release.
kits. But this particular version, the Old Border version, was in Time Spiral Remastered because Time Spiral Remastered contained a bunch of extra cards, bonus sheet cards that were all Old Border cards.
Right.
Like that's where Old Border Path to Exile came from. Old Border Flicker with. Yes, Old Border Flicker Wisp. The
Yeah.
buy a box promo for that was Oh no, that was the buy a box promo for Modern Horizons. I was about to say was Sanctum Prelate, but that was buy a that was Modern Horizons.
That was.
But there's that. I think this was the buy a box promo for TSR.
Okay.
So yeah, but that's where the
Okay.
like Old Border Ponder, Old Border Inquisition, I think Old Border Thoughtseize.
I think so, because I believe that because that has the Theros
I thought it was
or not Theros.
no, it has the Lorwyn art,
Lorwyn art.
the correct art.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, what I was, because I obviously people at home can't see. I had pointed to it, and I was about to make a point. When I see a more modern card, like let's say Thoughtseize, right? When I see Thoughtseize,
We're gonna have a conversation about how Thoughtseize is almost as old as Lotus Bloom. Like no, like they're 6 months apart.
Okay, yes, right. Here's my thing. Thoughtseize, the original Lorwyn art.
Yes,
It was in the, at the time, most current border,
yes.
right? But you take cards where the art was only ever in the, what was it, 2003 onward, 8th edition onward border?
That would be the thoughts.
yeah,
That would be
so-
the board. That's the same board.
The-
of thoughts.
yeah, the modern border.
And
And
so
when you take that, and
so actually the modern border is Origins onward.
it,
It's the one.
talking-
It's the swoop with the security
talking
stamp.
the format. Eighth
So
edition.
okay. So there are.
Because that was about 2003.
Orders. There
That
are.
was about 2003 when I started playing.
Yeah. No. So
So-
this is technically the 8th edition border.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Whatever the current
Also,
border.
like 4 drinks in, so
Yeah. Whatever the
not enunciating.
whatever. No, no. Whatever the modern. The current border is the modern border. That's what I'm trying to say. like
I
this. If you look at the, if I can direct your attention over to the screen,
right.
the that's why I said the swoopy one is the modern border.
Okay.
This is the 2000. This is the 8th edition border. Is now this is now the name for this. So there's
I didn't know the terminology.
yeah. So there's technically alpha border. Then there's, I think alpha and beta have different borders, and then unvised and revised and unlimited have a set of borders, and that border went on until pretty much until I want to say like Tempest, and then they modified the border a bit sometime around Tempest.
Yeah.
And then and then the next, but it wasn't like significant. And then the next
it was small changes. I know what you're talking about.
And then it was the next big one was in was 2003.
Right.
And then 2003
That's actually when I started playing.
Yep. And then after that, the next update was 2015 with Magic Origins.
Right. So what we would know as like 8th edition onward,
Yes.
any of the art that now this might be this is obviously just an aesthetic taste. But like Thoughtseize, right?
Yep.
You look at the Lorwyn printing, and that's the old border printing. And honestly, I feel like a lot of the printings for more, I know it's not correct to say modern, but like when you look at like Thoughtseize in the old border art, I feel like the old border just
I think the old border
it complements it so much better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so
Because it doesn't
one thing about the
it doesn't
one thing about
immediately visually frame it quite as much, so it ties it all together.
Yeah, so one thing about the old border, there was a change that was made when we moved to the 8th edition border.
Right.
If you notice, so like if you look at this Thoughtseize here, you can kind of see there's some texturing back here. It looks kind of like bubbling muck.
Yeah.
Like a bubbling swamp. If
Every
we
color different. It's like a red color.
Atlantis. So if I pull up Lord of Atlantis, like that looks kind of like marbledy, kind of like maybe evoking waves,
Exactly.
or like the seafloor.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if we look at, I don't think like that. It really comes out in any of the printings of. Oh, right, that one is. I think that's. So like red is like it's just like a red rock, kind of looking.
It's still evocative of mountain.
Yeah. And then like the
So my thing with that is it wasn't ever meant to evoke the literal.
what's a good green card? Concordant Crossroads.
Yeah, concordant. Yeah.
All right, concordant.
It's more so the land types.
Neat. Thank you.
Because like
Yeah, so like Concordant Crossroads kind of looks like it's like a bunch of grass. Like that's part of the reason I think that the old border has a particular
forest.
aesthetic.
yeah.
Because they were the borders at the time were designed to more heavily evoke the feel
Right.
of those of like the feel and the design of
So,
those things. And like
being
this
something-
even
being
this even
something
actually
artistic.
kind of
It's like it complements it.
yeah. Also they kind of not as well. It was more standardized, but like they kind of continued the same thing.
they
Like if you look at
yeah.
the Lorwyn border, you can still kind of see the Lorwyn Thoughtseize. You can still kind of see the
Yeah, the bubble.
the bubbling
yeah.
muck. It's like actually if you look at like set if I can spell Lorwyn C equals red. So like and then if you look, it looks kind of like rockier and like more like lightningy maybe.
Yeah.
If you look at this, and then if we look at the blue,
That
you know,
more
more like
clearly-
reflecting like
yeah.
this looks like kind of like your like a reflection of water.
Right.
Like it literally like looks like how what like there is sun shining through waves above you.
Right.
Or if we look at the green cards,
that more.
it's literally a leaf.
It's it-
Like, and then the white cards, I don't remember what the white thing was. It's just marble.
Yeah.
Just white
it's just
marble.
yeah.
Yeah. So like they have always kind of to some degree, less so more recently because they don't have as much
Yeah,
space
less
at the
so.
edge of the border. They've always kind of tried to do that, but like if we look at a mono white card from M22. I think that works.
Bobby won, by the way.
Oh yes, Bobby won. Origin. Bobby won. Who cares? Good for him. He got it. Well, I'm just trying to buy time until James calls results and I can give everyone the full results. But like they kind of, you can't really see it as well, but it's like it's still there. It is still there. So like if we look at like black cards, you can kind of still see there's a bit of the bubbling muck, but like it's harder to see.
It's harder to see.
But like it is still there, which is I think important.
It doesn't complement the art. Oh, like especially.
So yeah, so I mean, you don't have it. Part of that is because of on the new text box, like we can see on this finale of Devastation here. Like the type line and then also the name line.
Yeah.
Are in their own boxes, and because they're in their own boxes, you lose some of the visual space, the visual storytelling space for the frame. Because on old border cards, it's just printed straight onto the frame. It's just there's no like both of those. All of these things are the frame is where the frame is. There's no additional boxes for the type line or the name.
Yeah.
Or the mana cost. So it's just there's a bit more space. It's not that, but that doesn't. There are cards that don't look good in old border. Have you seen Aven Mindsets?
Okay, yes, actually. Now Aven Mind Sensor is I'm of the mindset where if it has an older art,
Like-
they usually tend to like the older art, but when I don't Aven Mind Sensor, right?
I don't think. All right,
It
so
doesn't tell me the art. Now, nothing about Rebecca Gay. The art
Art's
in the
gorgeous.
original Aven Mind Sensor doesn't show me what the card does, right?
I mean, it's like
Look at the Amonkhet. Here, go to the Amonkhet.
it's just a dude with a freaking.
Now-
He's doing the same thing. He's just on the ground instead of in the air. What are you talking about?
Okay, no. If you look at the framing, right? In the framing of the Amonkhet art for Aven Mind Sensor as opposed to the
Regular Amonkhet, not the invocation version. We should be clear.
if you look at the framing of the way the two pictures are, the Rebecca Gay one, it's from a top-down view. He's clearly casting some kind of spell to silence somebody. Where if you look at
Same thing in the Amonkhet one. He's just fucking
Here's the
standing
thing.
there. And you're
here's the thing,
Bearing
they're
down on
using they're using Dutch. They used a Dutch angle
I will
to show that he is imposing.
I will admit
And
he
he's
looks more.
saying no.
I will admit
He's
he
telling
looks.
you no.
I will admit he looks more imposing. All right, so listeners, Bobby got first, and Will got second, and I don't remember who he said got third, but somebody got third.
People got third.
Yeah. So okay. So all right. So
It was Drew.
Oh, Drew got third.
Third.
Okay. So yeah, I agree. He looks more imposing, but I like the Aven Mind Sensor art better because of
It's
not
literally
not because
literally the
not-
this is brilliant, but I like this meme.
yeah. No. So like this is Amonkhet's art. Wonderful.
I feel like it just
Great.
evokes what the card does better.
It is more imposing. Future Sight better because it looks better in the Future Sight frame. Like my
I
issue.
don't like the future sight frame.
Well, you can eat a dick. Well,
I mean, you're right. I can't argue that.
okay. So now that we've agreed on that, my issue with the reprints of Aven Mind Sensor, all of them, except for Amonkhet, where it is a different art, so it looks fine. In the Time Spiral Remastered, Love Your LGS, and the Commander Legends Baldur's Battle's Gate, the art looks shit.
It doesn't look like it belongs in that frame.
They did Rebecca Gay a disservice.
Yeah.
It looks zoomed out. It is zoomed out.
It
It is zoomed out so you lose detail. The Love Your LGS is a little bit more vibrant, I will say, on the
It
colors, and like
honestly-
the contrast is better.
Okay, hold on.
But it is
down to
but
the
it
future.
being more zoomed out.
It's
just
yes. It's zoomed out, whereas
You lose detail, and it doesn't look as good. And it not being in that frame, they should have just gone with the Amonkhet art. It would have looked better.
like
Rebecca Gay.
I understand.
Rebecca Gay art looks
Yeah.
more in place in the Time Spiral in the
It
old
does.
order.
It does.
Just because she's been doing art for Magic cards for so long, but this particular art piece, because of the way they went with zooming it out and the change to the contrast and stuff, just doesn't look as good.
It does not.
In the new border, it just looks bad.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those cases where I prefer the newer art.
We may get cut out viewers, because our
We've been told that we need to
shut
off.
Yeah, we've been told we need to shut the fuck up. We're gonna keep talking about this. You just won't hear any more of it. Our table manager, I think, wants to go home or close up his computer and use it for other things. So we're signing off. Bye, y'all.